name's Estraster, journalist. I speak to the people of Baldur's Gate so our readers don't have to.
I'm Lens, roving reporter for the Baldur's Mouth Gazette. My editors sent me to cover the drama out here at the gate. I've heard the rumours. Absolutists marching from Moonrise Towers. Whole towns felled by strange curses. It's no wonder they ran. Of course, I can't write any of that. My editor only releases stories his friend Lord Gortash approves of, and he's very selective.
Let's make our pact anew. A divine oath, sworn upon spirit and flesh. I do no harm to you, nor you to me. Furthermore, you'll have nothing to fear from my steel watch while our pact stands.
Well, there's people, and then there's people. You, my dear, are people.
Come to think of it, you remind me of someone he was writing a piece about. You, might want to speak to him about that. Set the record straight before the ink is dry, so to speak.
It's our juiciest edition in an age bound to get everyone talking about you.
We've been through so much, and the worst is yet to come. I have every reason to feel terrified, hopeless, and giving up. But to be here, with you, in the city I love, in this world that I love so much, it's all I could really ask for.
I can't thank you enough for getting me out of that damned prison. And for giving me courage when I'd all but run out.
It's the least we could do. Your faith in this city should inspire us all.
No contract is ended without sacrifice. A cost must be paid.
You damned wretch. Father.
Orin changes shape faster than you and I change clothes. You know, she's tricked you before. Your camp is compromised. One among you is an imposter, faceless.
Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Cinderellimouse and I'm here today with Baldur's Gate, and we're going to go to the Baldur's Mouth Gazette today and find out what this story is that they're planning on writing about us, because I don't trust them. Yeah, that's the plan. We do have a potential romance scene coming up, but I might have to jump through a few hoops to get the right person to do it, so bear with me as I kind of faff around here. I'm not feeling very well prepared this week. My eldest has finished her GCSEs, so I've been out and about with them, kind of having a few adventures, buying them some new clothes for college, and I'm out of my normal routine, so please bear with me if I'm more scatty than usual. But yeah, let's jump out of photo mode. First thing that I need to do, because this scene is meant to be with Dirge, I need to go
this way before
and ask Cordia to hang out in camp for a minute. Let's see if I can do this.
A once familiar ally, now apparently not all there.
Same girl. So I can send her to camp. Hopefully this isn't going to mess up my game.
Perhaps a little time away is all she needs. She'll be at your camp, should you wish to call on her again.
I might have to reload the save, basically. I've taken a load of stuff from her. I'm probably going to reload the save, but I want you guys to see this scene with Dirge, not with Cordia. I've got like a little glitch where it's picking like the wrong character for this scene, so we'll do this, then I'll reload and all will be good. You won't be able to tell. In editing, it'll be perfect. It'll look so smooth. It only looks messy right now because I'm messy. Okay, hi Karlach. So in the last video, Karlach and Dirge had like a romantic meal together. They had a really nice time together, so let's quickly catch up with Karlach.
Hey, wanna play pretend? You and me. Let's imagine I get to live 50 more years. We have a whole life ahead of us. What do we do?
Oh my god, Karlach, don't do this. So, quick recap, Karlach has an infernal engine instead of a heart, and it's burning up and it's failing. It was like a prototype. She was the first person to have this, and yeah, she's dying basically. So this is a really not a great conversation to have, because it's lovely to be like, what if, and have these kind of like beautiful romances in our heads, but the fact is, like, this is really looking quite unlikely that she's going to be able to have this, and that's heartbreaking. So I don't think Dirge is interested in having kids. I don't think that's like the first thing on his mind. I don't think that's something he would say, but I quite like it would look the same as it does now. Adventure, fights, all of it together.
Now you're talking. Faerun is so big and we've barely scratched the surface. I've always wanted to square up against a hill giant. With two of us, we might even stand a chance. Damn it. I wish I had a longer road ahead of me. I want to walk it with you.
I mean, Karlach is Big Wife because she's Path of the Giant Barbarian now, which is the new subclass that they added with patch 8. So, you know, she's Big Wife. But here, like, I wish I had a long road ahead of me. I want to walk it with you. Like, oh my goodness, Karlach, stop. This is too sad. I want that too. Gods, do I want it?
I'm not really tough enough to face any of this, you know. I'm scared shitless. But there's a courage in me I never knew I had. I've always thought I was fearless. Never scared of a fight, of the future. But dying has taught me so much. There's no courage in fearlessness. There's courage in being fucking terrified, but still going forward. Still being grateful. Still trying. We're going to save this city. Together. It's going to be the last thing I do.
Love her so much. Yeah, what she was saying there, I've always said this, like, about bravery specifically, like, it's not bravery if you don't feel fear. If you don't feel fear and you rush into a situation like Leroy Jenkins, you know, without that's stupidity, right? That's not bravery, it's stupidity, because real bravery is feeling the fear, knowing the risks, and having the guts to do it anyway. That's bravery. Yeah, you can't be brave if you don't feel fear. They're two sides of the same coin. Fuck yes. I'm gonna say, because I feel like this is paralleling something she said about taking each day step by step when we had the date. So I think this is kind of echoing those words. So he's gonna say, I'm with you, Karlach. Every step of the way.
That's why I know we're going to win. Let's get busy with it. I've got the rest of my life ahead of me, and a lot to do before I go.
Okay. I have a lot to do before we go as well. Again, we are romancing everybody in my perfect playthrough because I want to get as many scenes as possible. So hopefully this is going to work. If I send Dirge to bed, auto select, and oh, I hate when it's won over. Now I have to faff around. That is Gale's cheese. Don't eat Gale's cheese. Okay, full rest. Oh no, why isn't it happening? Okay, I'm gonna have to jump through hoops to make this happen, I think. Oh.
Get up. There's something you should see.
Okay, yeah, so this is the scene that was occurring. For some reason it was triggering with Cordia instead of Dirge, no matter what I did. So that's why I've had to send Cordia into like Withers' cupboard of people for a second, because Cordia wasn't romancing Lae'zel. And this doesn't have to be a romantic scene. I've never got it before though when I haven't been romancing Lae'zel. So you do have to be romancing Lae'zel to get this scene, but it always gives you that option to do it in a friendly way. So it would have worked with Cordia, but I wanted it with Dirge. He's been like Lae'zel's buddy, you know, this whole time. So, and they've got so much in common as well. So yeah, it's worked out in the end, basically. There's something you should see. And I was scared when I got this scene because I thought it was something else. And I was like, no, not Lae'zel. Anyway, is everything all right?
Everything's fine, trust me. Now come.
Yeah, I thought this was Shapeshifter. I thought this was Orin trying to kill me. I was so scared.
Watch.
Her little face, she's so cute.
I used to hate that sight. The glowing sky, the long shadows, the fading stars. I lived for the red of blood and the black of death. Now, I see the colors between.
Oh, his little face when he smiles.
Look at the sun. What do you see?
That the red of blood and the black of death, and then she turned to look at him. Like, I feel like she was kind of talking about him. Like, it was kind of a metaphor in that moment, because the red of blood and the black of death is kind of a describing dirge, right? Like, that yes. And then she's saying, I see the colours in between. She's saying, there's more to you than just being the child of Baal, right? You have depth, you have emotions, you have your own life to live. Is how I read that scene. I might be reading too much into it. Again, my degree was like literature and analysing, so I can overanalyze sometimes, but that's how I see it, and that's how I'm choosing to interpret it in this playthrough. Also, I really, really love the colour change that I've done on Lae'zel. I know it's controversial when you change the origin characters, but having to have that kind of like orange skin and green eyes instead of kind of the other way around, I think works really well on her, and I think she looks really beautiful in this sunset, so no regrets there. Look at the sun, what do you see? Hope, life, a future worth fighting for. That feels a bit on the nose after just talking to Karlach. A flaming ball in the sky that provides heat and warmth. That's a me answer. At the moment in the UK, it's so hot and sweaty and muggy and humid and like close, and I just constantly feel like really gross. And I'm not good with the heat. I overheat really easily and get like a heat stroke and things like that. So prickly heat, and I'm not good with the sun. So for me, it's like Skyfire's trying to kill me. I'm like Astarion. So actually Astarion likes being in the sun now that he's tadpole. But anyway, a new day means a new battle. I'm in no mood to fawn over sunrises. Let's go with the not poetic answer. I don't feel like he's an overly poetic person, at least not on the surface. Again, I feel like he's got some hidden depths, but he's going to be like a flaming ball in the sky that provides heat, warmth.
Literal, but not wrong. I see something else. Beauty. The dawn was my torment. Rustling leaves, agony. I couldn't wait to escape this place. Now, I revel in it. I revel in you. You showed me the betweens and beyonds. Between war and peace. Beyond passion and obsession. Most importantly, you showed me freedom. There's more, but I don't know how to say it. I don't know what to call it. I just know, whatever comes next, I want you near. When all this is over, will you stay with me? For good.
She really, really gets me. Okay, shout out to Deborah Wilde, who is Lae'zel's actress, because beautifully, beautifully acted scene. Lae'zel really, like, her expression, because she's actually like the youngest companion. She has this like baby face that she does where, you know, when you first meet her, she's got all those layers of defense. And she's really aggressive with it. She's kind of like attack is the best form of defense kind of thing. And so she's so confrontational. And then as you kind of start to get a relationship with her and peel back those layers, and she softens and she kind of like lets those defenses drop, and you see that little baby face. I would do anything for her. Like if she told me to burn the world, I'd be like, come on then. Well, I wouldn't, because that's how she starts out, and you have to kind of like talk her down from that ledge. But like I feel really protective over her, because I think it is because she starts out so defensive and then she becomes so vulnerable. Like the fact that she's letting us in and she's letting us see that, and that level of trust for her is just, I just want to protect her and like keep her safe and like let her be soft and squishy. Like she's so sweet. Okay, when this is over, will you stay with me for good? Come what may. I think, again, going with this theme of like one step at a time, like we don't know what the future holds. We don't fully know what we're up against, or what we kind of know what we're up against, but we don't know what we're going to have to do, right? We don't know the steps in front of us. So I like the answer to say, you can say, I like the sex, but I'm not ready for commitment. That seems so shallow. And like, I hate this one as well. I'm not sure, Lae'zel, you can be a lot to handle. It's such a harsh rejection, right? Because it's kind of like, it's kind of accusatory, it's judgy, it's kind of like, you're not good enough, you're a lot to handle. It's such a horrible thing to say. And I don't understand why you would romance Lae'zel and get to this point and then be like, what a joke. It's kind of like, what were you doing to get to this point? Like, it's weird to me that anyone would choose that. Anyway, I'm going to say, or Dirge is going to say, one step at a time. But for now, I'm not going anywhere. If I can click it.
One step then. Maybe even two, if I should be so lucky.
Little handy. We're gonna take Lae'zel's hand. It's a very, very cute moment for Dirge. He's so big. Like,
Chaque Vome Findu, source of my joy.
she's so sweet. Also, one of us. Okay, I have to try and get Cordia back now. Future editing really. Oh, what am I doing out here? Why have I been kicked out? Go back. Withers. Can I?
Thy wheel of fate turns ever to the dark.
Can I have Cordia back, please?
Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
I dismissed one of my adventuring companions. Where are they?
Safely resting in the wardrobe in thy camp, preserved just so till their souls return, or thou hast need of them.
Are you gonna let me have a bath?
Without the balance of a soul, a force to drive them, vessels like thine sit limp, like garments unworn. Wouldst be ashamed to leave thy comrades' vessels crumpled? Wouldst it not?
Yeah, I don't know what you're guilt tripping me for. Like, give her back. Yeah, you won't let me do it. Okay, so to explain what's going on here, the game mechanic that I'm exploiting here is that I ran 2 instances of the game to get 2 main characters, so that could be both Tav and Dirge in my perfect playthrough. So it's kind of like as though 2 players were playing the game, but it's me controlling both characters. But now that I've put Cordia in Withers' wardrobe, he's keeping a hostage, basically. I would have to run another instance of the game, reclaim Cordia, it would be a pain. So I'm gonna cut, and I'm basically gonna reload my save and just get back to this point, but have Cordia out. So I will see you in a minute. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I make things complicated? I don't know. Okay, so welcome back. I'm gonna show you the mission that we are now doing. So somewhere here we should have stop the presses, talked to the editor of the Baldur's Mouth Gazette. We met a journalist, Estra Stir, who told us we're set to star in the next edition of the Baldur's Mouth Gazette. We should find out why. Absolutely, we should. So we'll go ahead, we'll talk to a couple more people downstairs in the bar, and then we'll head over to the Baldur's Mouth Gazette. Going with me today for this mission is Cordia, Gale, Astarion, and Will. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to head out back to Basilisk's Gate, but pretend we've exited through the Elf Song, because I do just want to drop in and talk to a couple more people before we head over to the Baldur's
Mistra
Mouth.
has a shrine within the city, located in the Stormshore Tabernacle, if my memory serves me.
Do whatever you need to, but I shan't be paying my respects to any of the gods on show.
You never felt the call of the divine, Astarion?
Oh, I tried them all. None of them answered.
Oh, poor Astarion. So a bit of extra dialogue there. This is the tabernacle that he was talking about here. It's basically like a church, but for like multiple deities. So yeah, we will go there, but that's kind of Gale's quest. That's something we're going to do at a later date. Let's talk to a few different people, because again, there's so many people to talk to. I don't want to bore you all with talking to every single person all at once.
Vincent here is a wastrel and a scapegrace, but he does amuse me.
But it's really interesting, like, lore building to kind of like...
When I think about the poor refugees starving in Rivington, I could just weep. I believe I'll drown my tears in another brandy.
So I think that's kind of like a common problem, and I know I definitely kind of feel that when you're kind of like looking on social media or you're looking at the news and you're seeing all these terrible things that are happening in the world and you feel entirely useless, like there's nothing you can do and these things are just happening anyway. It's like, what else is there to do than drink? So I can definitely see that there's more effective things that he could be doing, but I understand that, like, this is too much emotional pain. We were never designed to know what's going on outside our own local communities. Like, we were never designed as humans to know all these world events and see like personal story after personal story after personal story. It's incredibly overwhelming. It's and so that urge to numb, I can totally understand, even though it's not the most effective thing to do.
La la la, dee da dee dum dee dee, bum bum bum.
What's that song you're sort of singing?
The Roses of Eliant. I may work for a hard-hearted rat fucker, but I still keep a song in me heart.
Rat fucker? Is their partner a druid by any chance? Okay. So we can bob in here and talk to a few more people. Have we talked to these people yet?
Archduke? Lord Gortash is a trifle young for that, don't you think? Not that anyone cares what you think, or me for that matter.
Again, that feeling of nobody cares what your opinion is, like the elite are doing what the elite are doing. So yeah, I love this about this game though. Like, you get all these different perspectives and they're all so like recognizable in an emergency situation. Like, it's just such good world building and it gives so much depth to the game.
That puffed up parvenu, Gortash, an archduke. However did they find a crown big enough for his head?
Well, actually, let me tell you about the Crown of Karsus. It is rather large. So yeah, not everybody is a fan of Archduke Gortash. And do you know what? It's really interesting that there is some freedom of speech. Like, people are having these opinions. However, we do know that the Flaming Fist have a list of people that they're kind of rounding up. Because in the last video, we actually had, like, the lady that we gave the necklace to, or she was trying to sell us a necklace and we gave her money. And the Flaming Fist that was trying to, like, rob things in the barracks. And the guy who's, like, looking for, oh no, not him. But, like, we do know that the Flaming Fist they have kind of, like, prescriptions kind of thing. They are out rounding up the troublemakers and the people who are speaking out against Gortash. So while these people are somewhat elite and somewhat protected, it's kind of only a matter of time. Like Chris there.
Well, look what the bugbear dragged in. Can't believe we both made it to the city, and with our limbs attached.
Right, almost. So we did talk to Larissa last week with Dirge, which I was so excited about because we got to go and see Alfera with Dirge in Act 3. But I do think Cordia would stop her and say hi as well. So we can say, what are you doing here?
Working. What else? Alan's short on coppers. The counting house is screwing him over. He was willing to hire anyone who'd work for cheap. And I'm nothing if not cheap.
Oh, poor thing. That's interesting. I feel bad for scamming him now then. You know, if he's struggling for money. It doesn't seem like he's struggling for money because there's lots of patrons in this bar. But we basically got the room for free. He was trying to charge us 200 gold for it and we kind of went, no. And he was like, all right, have it for free. I like, never call yourself cheap, Larissa. You are priceless.
Oh, you are smooth, hero. I knew there was a reason I missed you. I need to get back to work, but stick around. You brighten the place up.
Yeah, I think Cordelia as well would have been really genuine with saying that. That wasn't like her being slick. She genuinely thinks she's priceless. Laugh Riot, now open.
Are you funny enough to cause a laugh riot? Come on in and challenge the house comedian.
Okay. I think I'm quite funny sometimes. I know a few jokes. Hello.
Look away. Act like you don't know me. Come on, be a pal.
I don't know you. Let me know if you know who she is. Tell me in the comments because I don't think I know her. I don't know what that's about. But this guy though, this dwarf in a red jacket, fits the description of the murderer. So.
Get ready. I hear this guy is really good. My buddy Roanoke almost pissed himself laughing.
This dwarf in the audience matches the description of that serial killer. He bears watching.
What in the hell's are you staring at? I got spinach in my teeth.
No, your name's not Dolor, is it?
No. And it isn't Sucker or Patsy either. Whatever your con is, try it on someone else.
No, it wasn't. I was just looking for someone. It wasn't a con. I'm distracted by my hair. I decided randomly to like cut my hair short in the front. So I'm like, I did it last night and I'm just kind of getting used to it now. So I'm sorry if you see me like faffing with it. That's why. I get these random urges. Okay. Waldo Walnut. Hello.
I am hopeful that we shall be thoroughly entertained. I hear this fellow is monstrously droll.
Well, yes, I hope he's quite funny too. Who else is there? I feel like we've missed someone. This person.
Snappy dresser, that Willoughby. Though he should lose the monocle.
Right. And then we have this little kid here, Belford Willoughby. So the guy on stage is called Harvard Willoughby, and we've got this guy too.
Welcome to the Elf Song Traveller Tavern. No, wait. That's backwards. Anyway, my dad tells the jokes here. Sometimes they're funny.
It's rattling to me when there's a child and they kind of have an adult voice. There's this book here, Manual of Hilarity for the Truly Unfunny. So is that for him? He's like reading a book for like people who aren't funny. I don't think I'm that funny intentionally. I think I'm more kind of like funny by accident funny. I need this book, a thorough index of hilarious topics, and it's kind of like in old world English as well. So fun fact from somebody who studied early modern literature, there never used to be standardized spelling. So like if you look in Shakespeare's time, people spell things all differently, and it's very colloquial as well. So depending on like what region you were from, how you pronounce that sound of like the sounds in that word depended on how you spell it. So there was no kind of like Oxford dictionary of like the correct way to spell things. So it's sometimes funny to read like early modern literature like Shakespeare or Marlowe, like in the original like text, because I haven't had my hands on like the original books, but you can go online and kind of like see the kind of like screenshots of them kind of thing, like they're all uploaded onto certain databases, so you can look through these original prints, and it's very difficult sometimes to read the words. I kind of got really good at it the more I did it. I kind of like it came more easily, but yeah, getting used to the word spellings is a skill in itself. So puns, air emitted from the southernmost hole, so farting, a coincidence, a funny face, public houses and their vagaries, pratfalls and other physical pranks, funny little creatures, the misfortune of the other, and stink. Another thing as well, a lot of like the standardized grammar and standardized spelling that started to kind of occur in, say, like the 19th century probably is when it kind of like peaked, sort of Victorian times of that kind of like, this is the right way to spell something. And kind of like, probably like, yeah, like 18th, 19th, yeah, and like, it came through kind of snobbery and also classism and racism. So yeah, I'm not a fan of grammar police. I can do it a little bit sometimes myself and I catch myself, but I'm not a fan of it because it was designed to like have a them and us type thing, especially with like the development of books and like printmaking, kind of like as kind of more people learned how to read and write, it became more like standardized and more elitist. So just something to consider. You may agree or disagree, but just something to think about. I was having that discussion with my kid as well this morning about like poetry and how poetry sometimes has a dialect, and so my eldest was talking about like a Nigerian poet, and I was talking about Langston Hughes, who was like a Black American poet with that kind of like drawl, and how like a lot of the music of the poetry comes from it being written with a certain accent in mind, and how like the snobbery of kind of like standardized English can if you were to read these poems in like RP, it wouldn't have the same musical quality to it. It would ruin the poem. So again, just talking about that kind of like snobbery of standardized English, as somebody who studied a specialism in English literature. Okay. Hello, Harvard Willoughby.
Hey, smart stuff. I'm Willoughby, the comedian. And we got a little contest here called the Laugh Riot. You want to play along?
All right. What is this Laugh Riot?
It's all about the Boffoyocks. We see who can tell the funniest stories, and the winner gets the prize.
Okay. All right, you're on. It's got to be better than killing rats.
Great! I'll go first to show you how it's done, and then you can see if you can top me. Hello, Baldurians! You know, I wouldn't be here tonight, except my wife ran off with a cambium. That's right, I got fiend zoned. We used to have a drow comedian. I had to ask her to stop casting Tasha's hideous laughter on the audience.
I don't know
Then
that
I
spell.
asked her how many drow it takes to light a torch, and she said, none. We have dark vision.
Well, yes, that's just factually accurate. Why would we
So I
need
killed
to?
her.
The Elfsong patrons think that one's funny. There may be hope for you yet.
Was that a threat?
Your turn, smart stuff. Knock 'em dead, but not literally. Got me?
I think that Cambion one was new. I don't think I've ever heard him say that before. Normally he talks about vampires, which is kind of why I brought like historian and stuff, because normally he like offends. It's like he's offending us. Like the jokes are at our expense, like the drow one and the Cambion one, because we've got Will with us. He can summon a Cambion. So I don't know if he's like intentionally using us as the butt of the joke, but like, or if it's just that he's kind of like insensitive. I like this one. I'm just gonna, there are certain ones that kind of make you win, but I'm gonna choose the ones that I think are funniest. I really like, what's the difference between, it's kind of offensive, I'm sorry, but I think this is the funniest joke. What's the difference between a dwarf and a boulette? You can't toss the boulette. I'm not going to, actually on second thoughts, I'm not going to say that. That's the one that I think is funniest. The one that I think Claudia would say, because she's not particularly funny, would be, Willoughby the comedian, folks. Were his jokes good, or did he just smell funny? It doesn't make sense.
Got me with an ancient jest that's older than I am.
Well, I am like 200 years old, so it's been around for a while. We've got a vampire joke. Do you know why I hate vampires? They just suck. We're not doing that because of Astarion. Here we've got a Dragonborn one, which I am a Dragonborn sorcerer. I tried sleeping with a Dragonborn the other night. It didn't work out. He had a reptile dysfunction. That's quite funny. I asked a zombie reanimator out for a date, but she said she wasn't interested in necromance. And we can be like, what? If I was playing as Dirge, I'd choose this one. What do you call a room full of people who don't applaud? Dead. But no, we're going to say, I like this one because these two are at our expense. So I'm going to go with, I asked a zombie reanimator out on a date, but she said she wasn't interested in necromance. With a little at the end.
Didn't I tell this joke already?
Did you? Clap or I'll rip out your spines. I'm a cleric. Our cleric tried to cast Healing Word on a hand, but it was already cured. We can, if Dirge was with us, I think it'd be fun to be like, the dead three, am I right? What losers? You should know why Bane worshippers will never conquer the world. They don't have the balls. A mind-flayed Dwergastave lost his nose, so I asked the Illithid, how does he smell? And he says, I have eaten its brain. That's not funny. I'm going to go with the dead three one. That's quite funny for Cordia. And we are fighting them, so. The dead three, am I right? What losers? You know why Bane worshippers will never conquer the world. They don't have the balls. I think it's quite a good one for Cordia.
Don't joke about religion, smart stuff.
That's where you draw the line.
A single person applauds from the back of the room, probably out of pity.
Sorry, smart stuff. No joy for you, I'm afraid. But that sounds like job security for me.
Okay, so I don't mind that we failed. I think it's quite funny for Cordia to have failed that because she's not a comedian. Maybe we can come back down and do it with Dirge and have him like intimidate everybody. However, now the predicament I have is that I know there's a secret where if you kill this guy and then ring the bells around the town, you get like a sheep companion that is like, it runs into battle and blows itself up basically, which I think would be really fun to play with. However, storyline wise, we're not evil. There's no reason to kill him other than he's a bit rude and he has his kid here, so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna leave him alone, I guess. But yeah, I wanted to show you that just because it's funny, and I think it's funny that Cordia failed. So let's keep heading out and we'll find, and we'll head over. Actually, let's talk to these two because they seem to be, they actually have a copy of the Baldur's Mouth Gazette. No comment from Hall of Wonders on Automaton. Flaming Fist in massive recruiting drive. So again, like, Gortash is, like, his god is the Bane, like, his god is Bane, the god of tyranny, and so he's kind of like increasing that authoritarian kind of powers of the Flaming Fist. I said that so badly. Hopefully you followed my thinking there. Like, words are not coming out of my mouth. Does Duke Stalemain have a wasting disease? Duke Stalemain is dead, so I would say so. But that's interesting because it's almost like the covering up. her murder. So instead of being like, Stelmane's been murdered, it's kind of like, oh, she's just dying. She's just sick. So it explains why she suddenly disappears. Suspicious. Secret project construction at Gondian Foundry. We'll check that out at some point. Absolutist cult threatens eastern trade routes. Ritual murders on the rise. So again, that's scaremongering. This is the technique of dictators. They scare you, they make you afraid, so that you let them have that power over you, right? They're like, we have the answers, just let us slide through this legislation that takes away your, like, human rights, and we'll keep you safe. It's standard tyrannical propaganda. Plum Prosecco, a scourge, says Connoisseur. I could go for some Plum Prosecco. That sounds good.
Now don't believe anything Kate over there tells you. She's an awful liar.
Thank you for the tip. Is this Kate? Hello?
Broadsheet's rather dull today. Don't suppose you've learned anything juicier of late, Caris?
Give me the gossip.
Afraid not. Both the gossip and the Gazette have been drier than the Anorak.
So I guess they want like the social gossip?
Why, yes, Edvard. You want the who's who and the what's what? Speak to Caris. She's always got the best goss. None of it's been wrong yet.
Well, she told me to speak to you, actually. Okay, so they're gossipy. Let's head back over here, past the street preacher, over to this area where they're definitely... It looks like it's probably the headquarters of the Baldur's Mouth Gazette. Oh my goodness, can she speak? Let's talk to this person.
These writers sure do have a lot to say. The amount of trees they must have cut down to print all these papers. And people complain about the steel watch taking up resources. Huh.
So the propaganda arm is strong, it appears.
No time to chat, mate, sorry. Since Gortash donated this printing machine, we've had ridiculous volume to shift.
Right. So Gortash has donated a printing machine so that they can print more papers. I wonder if it's unbiased or not. I'm doubting it.
Listen, pal, if you're not moving my share of broadsheets, you're in my way. Shift!
And now I'm rethinking my thing about like the kids working. Is it just cheap labor? Okay. What are these people saying?
No, we are not censoring the mouth. We are simply doing a routine inspection. And no, I cannot sell you a copy.
We're not censoring the mouth. So it's kind of like freedom of speech for the propaganda arm, specifically. Interesting. So there's something there. There's something in that where it's like, because people react negatively to censorship, right? They're kind of like, no, freedom of speech, don't censor things. Which means that people who are going to exploit that by saying things that aren't true or are one-sided,
I am so glad you asked,
can
Edvard.
have that free license to continue spouting lies. So I'm not saying censorship's good, but there's like a mind trick there. There's like a Jedi mind trick saying the Baldur's Gate mouth is speaking the truth. Like,
if the Steel Watchers had eyes, at least you'd feel like you were being watched by something with a soul.
would that make it better? Okay. Who's this person?
I keep telling you, animals.
Animals?
If you want to buy a Gazette, talk to the loud little shit screaming headlines. I deliver the papers. I do not sell them.
Well... Do you see that woman leap then? I'll just leave you to it then, shall I? Hello.
Watch yourself in there. Sarky bastards, these writer types.
Right.
156, 157, 15... Oh, sorry, can't chat. 15... Shit! Where was I up to?
She's got a really pretty face. Oh, we're behind the wall right now. We can trick her. What are you counting?
I was counting broadsheets for distribution. Let's pray I've not lost count.
You were up to 158, I believe. Okay. Anyone else that we can talk to before we go in there?
Oi! I got my eye on you. You got the look of a troublemaker.
Because I'm a trouser, that is
Watching
racist.
Every Baldurian home. Why? I'm glad you are.
I just packed the papers. If you've got a complaint, editor's inside.
After the joke.
This woman.
Leave him some time and then...
So if you watch her... That was a big one. If you watch her, she's kind of like practicing an interview.
Why, yes. I'd love to do an interview. Oh, sorry. Thought you were one of the mouse journalists.
Yeah, so if you watch her, she's kind of talking to herself as though she's doing an interview. So some people want that kind of fame, I guess. Let's have a peek in their mailbox, because apparently we can. Stelmane murder tape. Oh, I just stole it. I didn't mean to. I wanted to read it. Removed from wares. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. To whom it may concern at Baldur's Mouth, I've got a hot tip to sell on the Stelmane murder, but you've got to come across with the gold or it's a no-go. I'll give you an idea to show you its worth. When it happened, I was in the elf song, sleeping right next to... I was in the elf song, sleeping right in the next room. And all right, I admit I heard nothing and slept through the whole thing. But in the morning, I got a glance into Stelmane's gory room. And oh, Papa Mama, the things I could tell you. Anyway, meet me tonight on the Elfsong Terrace. I'll be the one with the purple feather in her cap. And bring a stack of shiny, or my lips stay sealed. We're looking for the one with the purple feather in their hat, okay? Because they might have more information. To the puzzle editor. Baldur's Mouth puzzle editor. Aya, I found a copy of your broadsheet on my late uncle's desk with the winner peak at Candlekeep acrostic puzzle half done. And it took me a while, but anyway, I finished it.
Why, yes,
I got
Edvard.
every question right.
Can I
and
call you
as you can
Edvard?
see from the
Well,
enclosed,
Edvard, I do support
if I
Lord
could come to the
Gortash's
Baldur's
campaign
Mouth building,
for
who do
several
I talk to collect my prize? That Edvard Needlefeather fellow? I hope so, because I have a thing or two I'd like to tell him. Let me know, alright? Falmore de Gur, Lower City. Okay. Wrong. To the recipes editor, I am a professional chef, so I am writing to tell you that I am in a bit of an outrage about your article on how to cook the ducks. It was wrong, bad, dumb, stupid, incorrect, wrong. You want to know how to cook the ducks, you should ask Rovere how to cook the ducks. He's the chef at the Elsong Tavern. His name is on the murder list, so we need to warn him. The murderer's after him, so yeah. He is cooking the ducks every night at the Elsong for more years than the number of times your article was wrong. You tell me when, I'll come over and show you how to cook the ducks. Recipes editor. Huh. Right, so they don't actually know what they're talking about, basically. A municipal sanitation notice. I think we've read this before about the gutter coggles, so you can have a read of that if you want to, but I don't want to read it twice. I think we need to head in. I think I need to save though first, just in case. Okay, are you ready for this? We need to go and see what this business is about. See if this guy can see sense. Okay, we're in. Nobody stopped us. There's definitely things that we shouldn't mess with here, though. Let's chat with the guards.
Afraid I'll have to ask you to stop there. Only Edvard's allowed to use the basement elevator.
Another example of having transgender people in a game or non-binary gender fluid people without it having to be a political statement like some other games made. I think that's the best way as well, because it's kind of like when it's not a big deal, when you have gender fluid characters, transgender characters in a computer game, and it's just not talked about, just normal. They're just there. It's accepted. You don't have to, like, if you make a big fuss about it, it implies that it's not accepted or it's something that, does that make any sense? Like, it's kind of like, true acceptance is where it's not a big deal. And if you're making a big deal out of it, then it makes it more of an issue. Does that make sense? And I am very, very pro LGQT. I can never say it because I'm not good with acronyms, but I am very, like, my kid is gender fluid. So, like, I just think that Baldur's Gate handles it a really good way, where it's kind of like they have the representation, but it's normalized. I hope I'm explaining myself properly there, because I know sometimes people can misunderstand or reinterpret what someone is saying in regards to that. But anyway.
Hey, cut it out, will you? I've got deliveries to manage.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to know if everything was okay here. Security first. Why does the Baldur's Mouth need so much security? I mean, if you are a tabloid newspaper and you have strong opinions, you're gonna annoy people. So maybe security is not a bad idea. I mean, if you look at what happened in France a number of years ago, yeah, if you make fun of the wrong people, there can be security issues. Security first, but I think that comes from a place of disrespect rather than actual news coverage. Security first, security for those, and I'm not saying what happened was right, I'm saying that it was a situation that I'm interpreting. Security for those who deserve it. I'm saying I understand why sometimes people need security if they're being particularly outspoken, and sometimes one-sided as well. You know, they're gonna get people riled up. Like, that's what tabloid newspapers and TV channels do. Their whole thing is riling people up and getting people to have an emotional reaction, because then they get more views, they get more clicks, they get more comments, they get more engagement. And so like YouTubers as well, who are particularly you know, they jump on something with a strong opinion because it's trending. Like, they're getting those views. They're making money from provoking polarized reactions. And so, yeah, you've got to always think about, like, why are people saying what they're saying? Is it because they truly believe it, or is it because they're trying to purposefully be controversial to get the money, to get the views? I don't know. I have these big long-winded rants. Thank you for putting up with me. Security for those who deserve it. Wait. Everybody deserves security. Security for those who deserve it is the first responsibility of government. Who gets to decide who deserves it and who doesn't? Everybody should feel secure. It's a basic human right. Going back to what I said in the other episode, food, security, a place to sleep, basic human rights. As the creator of the steel, and that's the responsibility of the government for everybody in that terrain, everybody in their jurisdiction. As the creator of the Steel Watch, Lord Gortash has proven his credentials as a master of civic security. Yeah. I have opinions, and they are strong.
You ever heard of this many guards for a bloody broadsheet? It's ridiculous.
So he thinks it's unnecessary. I guess it's kind of quiet then. I guess they spend a lot of time stood around. And I guess that implies as well that there's better things that he could be doing with his time than protecting a tabloid newspaper. I want to kind of have a look in the bin, but I don't want to get in trouble. Let's go and have a chat and see who is down here.
All right, what now?
See what these journalists are actually like. Do they have integrity? You're right, they're everywhere. This is not a good start. So this is a reader's letter, so again, you possibly crackpots. To Glimmer Whistleborn, I am a long-time reader of your column, but none of them ever hit me before like the absolutist next door. So that is definitely a triggering headline, the idea of like, the bad guy could be your neighbour. You listed 8 warning signs that a neighbour might be a spy for the absolute cult. And by form, you were right, because my neighbour on the uphill side fits all 8 of your warning signs. I'm watching him now, curtain twitching, right? And again, divide and conquer. If you have a tyrant the most powerful thing to stop that tyrant is community, right? Is a sense of everybody sticking together. So to be a tyrant, what you want to do is break down those social ties and make people feel alone, vulnerable, like they can't trust each other, you know, and break those ties down. So getting people to curtain twitch and kind of like spy on each other is literally what the schmartsies did, right? I'm watching him now, and as soon as I see that traitor Chudley commit one crime, I'm turning him into the fists. Thank you again, Sir Whistleborn, for all your insights, a loyal reader. I wonder what the 8 signs are. Probably like they hang their washing out during the day. You know, something that's like not even a problem. So is this Whistleborn? Glimmer Whistleborn. So yeah, tabloid writer. There's a lever? What's the lever? Where is that lever? I don't even know. The time of the patriarchs is over. Can I read that? There is a steel watch. So some people are against the patriarchs. The patriarchs are kind of like the family, the old money families of Baldur's Gate. For generations, hang on, I'm probably not a patriarch if I'm writing this, right? For generations, the patriarchs have been filling their pockets while letting the city fall into decay. So this is a valid concern. This is a valid criticism of Baldur's Gate. Some patriarchs have recognised their mistakes and are willingly donating their fortunes to support the city. But others, more selfish, deserve to be stripped of their privileges. A system with a single, incorruptible ruler, Gortash, is the answer to a fairer society. So you can actually see why some people support Gortash, because he's not made of money. It's not nepotism, right? He is like a new man, is the way that the Romans would call it. And so, you know, to be somebody who's kind of like, I'm one of you, I represent the people, I came from, you know, a normal background in Baldur's Gate too.
There's no law against that.
And being anti-patriarch. The thing with like the patriarchs, and again, I'm in the UK, we have a class system. The one thing that I would say in defense of the ruling class, let's put it that way, is that, and they're not always right, okay? Again, there's pros and cons. I'm just talking about one of the pros at the moment, is that they often know how to govern. They know how the system works because they've been raised in it. They've been brought up in it. And so somebody who's new to the system might be more vulnerable to these more sneaky ways of the system. Again, it's a very, very thin pro, but I don't know, a lot. You can actually look through history as well and look at like countries tend to do well when they're stable and they tend to struggle when they're unstable, and if you have a monarchy, for example, over a number of years, sometimes things can stay stable, sometimes not. And sometimes when you get a new person in with new ideas and they can be quite radical, it can destabilize the system, which can actually be quite bad for the country in that destabilized moment. And you can actually see this happening like right now in politics, where you get a new man and people are like, yeah, he's one of us, even though maybe they were rich to start with in the first place, and how destabilizing it is to the system and how that affects kind of normal people. So I'm not saying good, bad, I'm saying it's a thing that happens. And you can look at this time and time again throughout history. And then it's for us to decide, do we want destabilization, do we want change, or do we want to have the security of a system that has worked for generations? Again, neither one is good or bad. It's just history. It's just things that happen. Yeah, and you know, like it's politics. You've got to make up your own conclusions about that. And I would say as well, each case is different. So history repeats, but it repeats with small changes that have different cause and effect. So there's no one right way of doing something or wrong way of doing something. It's just what happens.
Don't know about you, but them big metal bastards really put me off my flow.
Good, because it sounds like you're writing absolute bullshit. I'm not a fan of the tabloid press, absolutely not. I don't like that feeling of like working people up into a frenzy. I think it's bad for... I think the toxicity of the tabloid press seeps into society and makes things worse than they need to be, because it's like a poison, right? It's like poisoning the minds because they are so reactionary and nasty. Okay, what else do we have over here? So yeah, really not a fan of the tabloid press. Malik Stones.
Damn it, damn it, damn it! Still missing one link. Oi, shove off. Don't be peeking at my scoop.
Okay. And again, tabloid is different to normal. Like, you can have unbiased press where it's literally reporting facts and like not giving you any kind of like good or bad. They're just kind of like telling you the facts of a situation. The tabloid press tells you what to think, and they have headlines that kind of like distort or twist the facts to have a certain viewpoint, which normally is quite nasty. So yeah, don't like. And often like things turn out to be not true, or there's been a lot of controversy as well in the UK around kind of like bad practices of the tabloid press and kind of things that they've done that haven't been entirely moral to kind of get the information for the stories. So Father Lorgan's murdered at his own temple. This is big news. Well, yeah, we know a lot about this. Do you want to interview us? Because we have some facts about this. Now, how best to boil that down into a headline? Ideas. This is exactly what I was talking about. Open hand loses its grip. Again, nasty. Savage butchery of revered priest. No, I use savage butchery for Stelmane. Oh, so they are printing about Stelmane now as well. Trampled turned slaughterhouse in shock, horror, priest murder. No, brevity, Ty. Sheesh. Again, shock, horror, priest murder. It's fear-mongering. Stabbed. Stabbed again. No, that's not... Oh, actually, he's saying that's not so bad. Because, like, immediately you read that and you've got the fear of it happening to you, right? But not good enough, all right? It's Ty time. A drink at the Elf Song will sharpen my wits. Will it?
Hang on. Wait. Stay there. You reminded me of that word I was looking for. Corpusculent. That's it. As you were.
So that was extremely rude of you. I am not corpusculent. Got your number, Ty Willowbrook. Okay, anything else that we can have a look at over here? I'm glad the Steel Watch is just kind of like letting us do our own thing over here a little bit.
Hang on, you're not allowed down in the basement. Only Master Needle is permitted access to the printworks.
Oh, so that's where the printworks are. I'm sorry. I've just had a chat with Gortash. I was at his ceremony, and she wasn't actually. Dirge was, and he told me about this marvelous new printing press. So I thought I'd come and have a peek. She's trying to do the whole I'm a tourist thing and friend of Gortash. Okay, what do we have going on over here? A note from Estra. Estra Stir, that's the woman who told us that they were writing a story about us. Etvard. How did she speak? I need you to get me into the upper city. Those pricks at the gate won't let me through. Can't you leverage your influence? I need to take the temperature of the patriarchs, see what they think about this whole absolute army thing. So be a dear and get me a pass or something. My arse is tired of sitting around the office. Estra Stir. Yeah, she was really snobby when we met her. So she's trying to rub shoulders with the patriarchs apparently. I can't read this one. Is there anything else I can read? Be wary of foreigners. Here we go. Daily Snail, that you? Can I get over there? Can I read that? Not that I want to. But we need to know what we're dealing with. Foreigners should be shunned. Their decadent ideas infect our youth and steal. So the granddads, the delusional granddads is the target audience for this. Not the youth! The youth! They steal Baldurian resources without contributing anything. The recent wave of refugees should be driven from Baldur's Gate as other cities take them in. Baldur's Gate is already given enough. That's how people like that talk. Don't at me. It's a fact. I've seen it. Right. I guess we're talking to Edvard Needle and the disapproval on this chick. I'll needle you. Okay.
Well, well, if it isn't the city's next celebrity. You star in our next edition's top story.
And also, congratulations, Baldur's Gate writers and casting and actors, because you have made an entirely dislikable character. You really get the point across with this arsehole, so congrats. Okay. What do I want to say? We're a cleric, so we can say, I'd rather you spread the word about the one I serve. I have some suggestions if you'd like. We don't know if we want to shut it down yet. I think we probably do, but we don't have the details. Oh, I like this one. Sorry. Who are you? Just to offend him.
Edvard Needle, editor of the Baldur's Mouth Gazette, speaking truth to power since 1450 DR. No need to introduce yourself. I make sure I become intimately familiar with my subjects before writing about them.
I'd rather not get intimately familiar with you, actually. Well, I'd rather you spread the word about the one I serve. I have some suggestions if you like.
Well, you should have considered that before disgracing yourself in public. Trafficking refugees into our city is hardly a good look. Especially when so many are absolutists and murderers. The truth will be out with tomorrow's broadsheet. People will spit in your face. Your very presence will be bad for business. You'll be a pariah, an outcast, as you should be. And then, we can only hope the fists do their duty and escort you to the gallows. Your days of scumming up this good city streets will be over.
So, are you interested in hearing my side of the story, or are you just literally printing trash? Because I do get a sense about you. There is a vibe of bullshittery about you right now. I can smell it. It's coming from you. Not you, the person, this guy. I mean, we could pull the we're mates with Gortash, fuck off card, because, like, surely if Gortash wants us to take down Orin, you know, he could call off his dogs a little bit, you know. But I think we can handle this. I really like stop the article or I'll cook you from the inside out. She's not really a threat person. Who told you this nonsense? We're not bribing him. And between 1 and 3, 3 says, if what you've just said is true, pissing me off is a bad idea. Stop the article. But again, she doesn't really go for threats. I think that would have been a really good one for Dirge. I think Cuddy would be like, who told you this nonsense?
I would never reveal my sources, and certainly not to the likes of you. Besides, you're too late.
What?
The headlines are loaded into the print works already. Tomorrow, you will feel the power of free speech. Vox Populi, Vox Dei. Now, guards! I believe our distinguished guest was just leaving. Would you care to escort them out?
So, Vox Populi, Vox Dei, that's the voice of the people, is the voice of God, basically. This talks about you can draw it back to really, really old examples of ancient Greek democracy, basically, where public pressure can pressure people to vote for a certain thing or put through certain legislation. One of my favourite terrible examples of this is if you read, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong, but Iphigenia at Alice, Iphigenia at Aulis, which tells the story of Agamemnon, he's kind of the king of kings, right? He's the head of the Basilii of the Greeks. So if you think about Odysseus, you know, Ajax, Nestor, Menelaus, like Agamemnon's kind of like the guy in charge. So it is kings, right? It's not entirely democratic, you know, these kind of, and Greece didn't exist at the time. It was kind of a coalition of different Greek states kind of thing. And so I'm waffling, sorry, I'll try and get to the point. Basically, in Iphigenia at Aulis, it's telling the events of the Trojan War, and the Greek ships are heading towards Troy, and they get stuck, they get moored because of like bad weather, and basically this weather's not changing. And so Agamemnon's terrible priest, who lots of the texts undermine the abilities of this seer, this priest, he basically says you need to make a sacrifice in order to get the winds to blow in the right direction, and the sacrifice needs to be your own daughter, Iphigenia. And you know, Iphigenia at Aulis, you have all these conversations between, you know, Odysseus and Menelaus and Agamemnon, and they're kind of saying the people, right, all these thousands of soldiers are all saying that we should do this, that we should believe the priest, that we need to kill Iphigenia, and then we'll be able to set sail. Like, they're demanding that you make this sacrifice for the greater good, for the you know, this is the voice of the people. Obviously Agamemnon's like, I don't really want to do that, I kind of love my daughter and my wife's going to be really pissed at me. Find out what happens with that with Clytemnestra. And he caves to the voice of the people. Now, whether or not Calchas, who's like his priest, is telling the truth or not is disputed, and basically the goddess Artemis is so offended by this that she kind of saves Iphigenia and turn puts a stag in her place. But yeah, like, it's kind of saying this is a really tricky thing as well. It's kind of like, who should get a vote? Should the general population have a say in things? Should we have these votes on really important things like Brexit, right? Referendums, like these really important things that should, in a lot of ways, be decided by people who have the facts of the information, who have, you know, the geeks who really know the ins and outs of legislation and what will this impact, right? Because we can be told things as the general populace, but how do we know if what we're being told is accurate, or if it's stirmongering by the tabloid press, right, who may have their own agenda for wanting certain legislation to be passed or not passed? So the voice of the people is really it's a really interesting concept, because obviously it's kind of that thing of like, everyone should have a say in like what happens, but is every vote created equal? Like, should we allow criminals or idiots or people who are not able to comprehend things a vote? Is the mass opinion, like the population's mass opinion, valuable, or is it open to manipulation and being swayed? So the puppeteers, you know, are going to try and influence the votes of the people and the minds of the people to pass certain legislation that may not actually be good for them as individuals, as a collective, because it suits those people who have the power to do the manipulation. Very complicated situation. It's like one of those things where there's no right or wrong answer. Of course democracy is good, of course it's important for people to have a say and have a vote, but there are pitfalls, that are problems where, you know, people are open to mass manipulation by the tabloid media. So yeah. And it's considering the sentence, the voice of the people is the voice of God, came from someone who clearly is not reporting facts, and they clearly are manipulating through propaganda. In this case, not a good thing. And again, the guy in charge is Gortash, who is working for the god Bane, right? He's a tyrant, and this is his propaganda arm. We can fight, but I've got ways of doing things. I've got my sneaky rogue with me, so we're gonna let the guards take us outside. But yeah, when I first got that, like, when I first played this game and I first got that, I was fuming. I was ready to start throwing fists, because I think I'm a very fact-based, logical person a lot of the time. Like, I really like, if I've got to make a decision, I really research things. I don't have like one source of information. I look at multiple sources of information, and like contradictory information as well, to really look at the facts and the details. And you know, my background as being like in literature and politics is to kind of dissect speeches and look at what is a fact and what's manipulation, like what sounds like a fact and what has evidence. And so I'm very good at reading through the bullshit, and I'm very good at finding the truth of a matter. And so that kind of manipulation of propaganda and fear-mongering, like, it irritates me so much, because I can see the facts so clearly, so it's really frustrating when people don't know they're being manipulated. Anyway, yeah, it kind of hits a nerve, I would say. Because one thing that they do as well is they will promote something. So they'll have buzzwords, they'll have slogans. Make America great again, right? Or, you know, saying a certain date. If anyone has any valid criticisms of a certain thing that's happening, to just be able to like drop a date and think like that's the mic drop. And it's kind of like, well, okay, that, I see what you're saying. However, there's some nuance that needs to be discussed here. And so, yeah, it's kind of like, it's almost like a see you later, Toby, where, you know, people get brainwashed by the propaganda into kind of just like repeating it rather than questioning it. It's like the brain switches off and they're just kind of like, oh, I heard the buzzword, I know exactly what to think here, and I'm going to believe that I'm right, even though basic questioning and reasoning is going to tell me that there's a different opinion. I can't stand it. Again, I argue logically, so if I get into a situation where somebody's arguing emotionally and they're not listening to the logic, and then you do the questioning technique, like the Socratic method, so you get them to think to themselves, oh my god, they hate it. Just, it's like, oh no, I might not be right, I'm going to double down on being wrong. It's like, you know. Anyway.
The hostel's up that way. You won't find better around here, unless you can pay for it.
I think as well, I've always had a very questioning mind. Like, I've always been the sort of person who, like, in school, like, they'd be telling me a fact about science, and I'd be like, but why? Explain that to me, but why? Like, the fact, you know, the statement was never enough. I needed to understand it. And so I've always had a kind of, like, Sherlock Holmes mind. What's the word that I'm trying to think of? Like, a forensic mind. And so, what was I going to say with that?
We should have a still watching every Baldurian home.
I think, you know, if you are inclined to
I'm glad you asked.
be a truth seeker or to have a logical mind, I think you do, and I have the benefit of an education, right? I have the benefit of being trained in critical thinking that not everybody has. And so that's not me bragging, that's not me being prideful, that's me seeing my privilege and understanding that I am in a privileged position to be able to see the truth, which means that if I care about my community, if I care about my country, if I care about what's happening in the world, I need to share my perspective with people.
Once the washing is finished,
and to use my vote to protect the people who may be more prone to manipulation, who may not have the training to be able to think critically. I am in a position of needing to use those gifts. Yeah.
Never run away like that.
I bet that hostel lady wouldn't make you clean the dishes.
So I think a lot of you, I really, really trust my audience, and this is why I'm happy to have a smaller audience, because I think if you look at some of the channels, not every channel, some of the channels who have a really big audience, and some of the ways that they get those big audiences and the ways that they kind of get people's attention can be through those knee-jerk responses. And so I trust that you guys, I trust that my audience who are still with me at this point are, you're nodding your head, you're like, yeah, I know what you're saying, Cinderella, like, same. Like, I also have the ability to question a statement, yes.
Well, yes,
You're as frustrated as I am.
Can I call you Edvard? Well, Edvard,
if people
I
hate
do
watching me,
support
just
Lord
think for
Gortash's
yourselves,
campaign.
right?
For several
You don't have to
reasons.
agree with me, just basic lines of questioning. Oh, okay, we can sneak into this little room here.
This is Joel's house. No letters, no clerics, no herb sellers, no potion peddlers, and no steel watch.
Okay. I want to go in here. I don't really know what the purpose is of this place, but if I don't go in now, I probably never will. So I'm going to probably get a Starian to be a little bit sneaky here and try and lockpick. Let me try and get into a position where I can't be seen. Okay, turn-based mode. So I've got a little bit of an area here where I can sneak up and do my lockpicking. Who's talking? Oh, I'm interested in that story. Okay, we're gonna have an earwig to them in a second. Okay, lockpick. Right next to the steel watch as well. Like, this is risky. Look at where we are. Give me guidance, because I am about to do something really stupid. Okay, go. I should also have my memberships up soon. So when I ask you to give me guidance, if you have a membership, you'll be able to actually use the guidance emoji in chat. So look out for that. Really excited to finally get that up and running. Okay, because I know some of you have been waiting for it. So thank you so much for your support. All right, we're in. I think I can probably just waltz in here now.
Something over there.
Okay, shut that. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, let's have a look in here. Nothing in there. The story is so sneaky. Nothing there. Nothing too interesting there. Oh, we have this letter from Silai.
Father, I've heard about a risk of shortages in the city. I know you're absolutely unforgivable when it comes to shopping for yourself, so I've sent some victuals that could see you through a whole season if you pace yourself. Do it for me, I love you very much, and we'll be home for a long visit before you know it, God's willing. All my love, Silai. P.S. Will you tell Kathora I say hello? I've already sent Uli your love 1,000 times over. So this is people who are worried about people, and are trying to look out for, like, friends and family, I guess. We can lockpick this. Natural 30, don't mind if I do. Wasn't it natural? Mantras and meditations of the Sun Soul. Astarion is like, ugh, it burns. I am the embodiment of the radiant light shining forth within the power of sun. So this sounds very much like Lathandarin type stuff. You can have a read of that if you want to. They've got some gold. I'm not stealing it. I know Astarion probably would, but yeah, we're just going to leave that, I think. I didn't see what he actually noticed, but yeah, I don't know. We explored. Let's. So you just disappeared.
So I need to do this in a sneaky way because I don't want to get caught. Okay, come back out, Astarion. Can we shut the door again? Okay, we're all good. You can stand up.
Still alive, so that's
not worth doing, but again, if I don't do it now, we won't come back and have a look at that house. And I do kind of want to show you all the things. Okay. What's happening here?
Warning you. There's one of you and four of us. Do you really think you could take all of us at once? I can go and get back up.
And you think we're just gonna sit here and wait for you and your hog friends to come back and arrest us?
Look,
I'm just trying to do my job,
do
alright.
my job, all right?
Yeah, that's what the people said in like the 40s, you know. I was just doing my job. That excuse doesn't cut it anymore.
No, a bit.
Especially in this day and age. You know, you sign up. Like, what are your vows? Do you sign up to protect citizens or abuse them?
Lies they're publishing, I mean.
Not a lot, unless you want to set fire to the Baldur's Mouth Gazette headquarters.
They're talking about setting fire to... Why is...
We do know, thank you. We just don't care. Besides, I don't think that'd achieve much in the long run. The problem's at the top. It always is.
The problem's at the top, it always is.
Sending a strongly worded letter would be a good place to start?
I don't think so.
By strongly worded letter, you mean a brick through a window, then
I'm just not one for violence, you see.
You'd better start acquiring a taste for it. It's only going to get worse from here on out.
So these are kind of like activists. They have a grudge against the Baldur's Mouth Gazette, it seems. Okay, friends.
If this lot have got a problem with the Gazette, they should take it up with the editor, not make a scene in the streets.
I'm not sure the editor is open to discussions. I've just had a word with him myself, so I understand why they're angry.
Baldur's Gate's never going to be safe with the Absolute out there. Why would the Gazette lie to an entire city?
Why indeed? At least he's asking questions. I can think of a few reasons why they'd lie.
Kinda terrifying that the likes of Lord Gortash can just decide what's true or not. Despicable.
I like her. Okay.
Why would they go to...
The paper says we're safe here, but we're not. We may as well be outside the walls with the Absolute.
Right?
No point reading the Gazette. You might as well be reading the walls of a tavern privy.
Good point. I actually agree. I want to talk to her again. Does she have anything else to say?
Do they really think we'll believe everything they put in the paper?
Watching every Baldurian home.
One voice of reason
I'm glad
amid
you
a
asked.
sea of chaos. Oh, we can't touch these. Do you think they'll write about me? So it's like the people who want the fame as well.
Leave him some time and then...
I'll never understand people who don't want to be famous. The more the people like you, the more you can get away with.
Right, and what if the people hate you?
Besides, I don't think that'll achieve much in the long run.
Okay, oh, that's a familiar face. Do you see what I see? Councillor Floric?
God's damned hypocrite!
What?
The Blade of Frontiers, all pomp and empty oaths. The Sword Coast's most dashing fraud.
Pardon?
I trusted you. I believed in you.
Floric, what are you on about? What is this?
Lady Mizora told me everything. How you slaughtered your own father. How you crave his power. I thought you were going to save him. But you abused his current state to get rid of him. You mean to make the city bow to you, and you alone.
That meddling ghoul. Floric,
Save it. My duty is to Baldur's Gate, and it holds no place for Ravenguard's treacherous spawn.
Really? And this is a really nice placement of this scene as well, because it's like at the back of the Baldur's Mouth Gazette. So this idea of like people twisting things, people putting a spin on something, you know, people jumping to conclusions without having the full facts of a situation is exactly what's just happened, because Mizora's given a very twisted one-sided story to Floric, and now Floric's angry at Will because she really, really likes his dad. So for those of you who need a quick recap, Will is a warlock, and his patron, who's a devil, Mizora, basically keeps shifting the goalposts in terms of Will trying to get out of this contract. And so even though she agreed to set Will free because we helped save her from the Absolute, so she's given him this choice and said, so one, I break your contract but your dad dies, or two, you stay in the contract and we keep your dad alive. We broke the contract because I know for a fact that we can still save his dad, because I have player knowledge. You know, Will was in this catch-22 with that situation, and it was really the manipulation of Mizora that's got us into the situation in the first place. But she's kind of for her amusement, I suppose, set Floric against him. We just saved Floric as well from the Worm's Rock dungeons, where she had been put in there by the tadpole's Duke Ravengard, right, that she's so willing to defend. So, a relevant thread of knowledge pokes at your mind. Explore it. I'm kind of curious to do that. When we found you in prison, you've given up. Who's the hypocrite here? I don't want to get into a fight with her. She is our ally. I do like Ravengard could be alive. We intend to save him. I'm really curious about what this is because I don't know. A relevant thread of knowledge pokes at your mind. Explore it. I'm going to go with persuasion because I feel more confident with that. Floric, Ravengard could still be alive and we intend to save him. Give me guidance. I didn't get my bonus from Shadowheart, unfortunately, but you guys can give me guidance. An historian can give me bardic inspiration. Fingers crossed we're going to do this. 15, I think we've got it. Yeah, there we go. 18, 22, 25, 30. Oh my goodness. As if there was any doubt. There is. I roll ones quite often.
At ease. By the living gods, I believe you.
Easily convinced.
What darkness has fallen upon us? Will, there's something you must know. I should have told you sooner, but I'd hoped somehow your father would return to us. He knew about the Absolute. I thought little of it at first, but he realized the danger before anyone else did. He understood that if the cult were successful in raising an army, Baldur's Gate would be doomed. Before the Absolutists abducted him, he told me that, should he fall, I must seek you out and give you this message.
Okay.
Your father trained you in the ways of great champions. You are to use those lessons to wake the worm under the city. He is oath-bound to answer your call and come to our aid.
Worm? Yeah, just before we continue with that, like, this is what I'm talking about with Floric. It's like, you are in a position of power. You should not be so emotionally reactive and persuadable. Like, she's all over the place with who she thinks she can trust. Okay, like, literally, Mizora's a devil. Like, why would you believe anything she said against someone like Will, who has been steadfast in, like, doing the right thing since all this time? We saved her from, like, the last light in, right? We broke down the door, like, Karlach got her out. Then we showed up at the last light in. Sorry, the, what's it called? Joaquin's Rest. We saved her at Joaquin's Rest, then we met her at Last Light In. We lifted the Shadow Curse. We, like, went and fought the Absolute. Like, we've done the right thing. We rescued her from the prisons in Worm Rock. Like, why is she so not trustful? Anyway, okay. A worm? Are you saying there's a dragon living under the city?
A bronze dragon, yes. He sleeps beneath us even now, awaiting a hero to rouse him. The worm goes by many names. Ansur, the waiting storm, the heart of the gate. He promised Baldur he'd protect the city if ever its existence was threatened, but just the once. Since then, the city faced countless threats, but the Baldurians overcame them all. There was never any need to call upon the worm, but this time, things are different. This is the greatest threat Baldur's Gate ever faced. Your father was right. We need Unsur's help. With him gone, the worm's awakening now falls to you. Take this. The legend of Ansur, an ancient epic, ill-remembered, dismissed as a mere tale. Let it set the path before you.
Okay, Will, I think this is for you.
we can throw Will under the bus. We can say, you're going to trust him? You do know he made a pact with the devil, right? I don't know why we'd do that. I don't know if Will needs the confidence boost. You know, a lot of people have been distrustful of him because of the way he looks. So I do like this one. Your faith in Will is well founded. We will seek the worm and ask for his help.
Thank you. In darkness, I see your light.
Yes, he is a
I will go and
Lathandarim
assemble
paladin.
any allies I can find. When the battle horns call, we'll stand ready. Unleash the worm, Will. Let his tempest swallow the Absolute and its allies. Good luck.
Yes, Will. Unleash the worm.
We still have a romance scene in Act 3 to partake in. Or he wants to chat. Go on, what do you want to say?
Curse that rotten devil and her forked tongue, trying to set Floric against me. She's a damnable inferno of chaos.
Sexy though.
What matters now is that Floric saw sense, and we know our path forward. We'll finish what my father couldn't. We'll awaken Ansur, the heart of the gate.
Yes, I'm sure this is an excellent plan.
Why? I don't want to be. Why would we be nasty to him? I'm going to say,
Do you really think a dragon has been living under Baldur's Gate?
I do, and so did my father. Go on, read the legend of Ansur. Then we can plan our next steps.
Okay, I will.
Okay, next job is to read the legend of Ansur. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually send that to Will. And we'll read that later because we do have a mission to do right now. But let's just see if Gale and Astarion have anything to say.
Whatever you need, you only have to ask.
No, we're all good. Okay. How about Astarion?
What can I do for you, my friend?
No opinions. No, we're fine. Okay. Oh, I can't move my cursor. There we go. So if your cursor ever gets stuck, if you just tap on the profile image, like it resets it, just in case you've ever run into that problem.
Okay, I have a bit of a plan of how we're going to get into this place. There's a door here. Let's just speak to this guard.
You know what? I'm glad they posted me out here. Those writers were starting to piss me off. All the incessant, inane chatter.
I like you. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is, if I go back here,
So what can we do about it?
I'm going to use a sneaky little spell. And let me just get Astarion over here with Cordia. Like this. And then I believe, if I'm right, Cordia should have a spell called... Oh, not electrocuting Astarion. I should have a spell called, there we go, Dimension Door. And so I can click on Astarion and I can teleport both of us all the way up here. Perfect. And then they can kind of like climb up and out of the way onto the roof. Amazing. This is the way that I find is best to get in there. Gale as well can do the same with Will. So if I just get Will to come over here and get next to him. Gale should also have Dimension Door. Now I'm not sure if he's got it as a spell or not, but I should be able to learn it if not. Yes, he has. He's got it here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of... Actually, do you know what? I'm going to use Conjure Elemental. And I'm going to get rid of... Sleet Storm for the time being and take Dimension Door. I am actually going to use that spell and I'm going to get myself an Air Elemental. Beautiful. Okay. So Dimension Door, I can get Will, and we can get all the way up here as well onto this little platform. I didn't think it worked then, I panicked. Okay, all good. And the Air Elemental just follows because he can actually like teleport and fly and stuff. Perfect! Okay!
2 steps at a time.
So now we're all up on the roof. I'm gonna have Cordia gather everybody together again. There's some more... What is this? Feathers up here. I feel like Tara has been around here at some point. I see evidence of Tara. Well, we're going to go over here to this barricade here. And I need everybody to kind of like jump over. This is a bit of a pain to do, so just give me a second. There. Come on everybody, get over here please. God, it's so annoying. What do you mean can't get there? Yes I can. Come on, Historian's over, perfect. Come on everybody. Come on Gale. There we go. So now my next job is to destroy this. So I'm gonna fireball. Perfect. And I need everybody to hide. Toggle group hide. And then now I need to get everybody down. I might get rid of group mode. And I need to get everybody to jump down onto this platform here, which is quite hard to see, but trust me. Okay, Cordy's down. Perfect. So we are now currently back here. So this is the entrance. This is where all the guards are. And we're sneaking into the lift. So let me get Gale. Gale, can you jump down? I've got to be careful about Gale's air elemental. Okay. Will. So it's a bit of a faffy way of doing it, but it does work in my experience. Maybe I need to save just to make sure I don't do anything stupid. But let me just get Historian down here as well. There's not enough space. I'm gonna save. Okay, come around this way, Historian. Why is he not crouching? You've got to crouch. I think he got seen. Wait, is he crouched? I feel like he's not crouched. Yeah, I clicked the wrong thing. Okay. Why can't I get that? I might have to move Will. Will, move over. Historian, come on. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. If you want to go in like full barbarian, like fist flying, you can do. Okay, Historian, are you crouching? Yes, he is. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Cordia to hopefully fire an arrow at the mechanism to make it go. My path's interrupted. Will, you might have to do it, mate. There we go. That's the lever. So fingers crossed. Why didn't it work? Why didn't it work? Okay, crouch again. What if I get... Silence is golden. What if I get Gale to do Mage Hand? Okay, Mage Hand. Okay. Okay. Fly down. It's invisible, right? Fly down here. And pull this lever. Oh my god, Mage Hand, can you please behave? There we go. I think we've been seen. Can't use this right now? What do you mean I can't use this right now? Have I been seen?
Let's get going.
Everybody crouch.
Can't risk being in
Oh no, yeah, we've been seen, I think. Oh my god, Mage Hand, go! Why won't it work? Why isn't this working? I swear I always do it like this. I think the problem is I don't normally take so many people. I know what I need to do. I know what I've done wrong. I need to group everybody before I do it. It's because they're not grouped. So when I do the Mage Hand, it's only taking Gale because that's the only person connected to the Mage Hand. Okay, I've got it. The brain cells are working. I swear I'm an elite strategist. I'm just having a bad day. Crouch. Jump down. Oh, God, I keep forgetting to move Will. Will, move. No, don't climb down. Don't climb down. Okay. Historian. Jump down. Okay. Right. Everybody group. Perfect. Turn-based mode. Gale. Mage Hand. This is the thing with D&D. You can have the best plan, but depending on how you roll, if you're playing an actual D&D game, really does depend on like how the situation goes for you. Honestly, your plan can be watertight, but if the dice are against you, it's all downhill. Right, this should work. Okay, perfect. We're all downstairs. Okay, this is perfect. What we need to be wary of now is that there are steel watches. So I'm going to try and do this a sneaky way. But whether or not we succeed is a different matter. So everybody should be more or less okay, especially if I get them all into this room here. So I am going to exit turn-based mode and we'll see which way that guy's going. Yeah, he's going that way. So I'm going to get everybody into this room here. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Come on, everybody. Quick, quick, quick. In here. Before the steel watch guy comes back. Come on, quick as you can. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Excellent work, everybody. Okay, oh my god, Gale, get your little guy in. Right, shut the door. It went wrong. It went wrong. But that's okay. I am prepared to fight. I was prepared for this. It's okay. It's more fun if we fight anyway. So these guys do not like electricity. So I'm going to go ahead with my highest electric lightning bolt spell, and I'm gonna zoom this guy. Okay, we didn't do a huge amount of damage. It wasn't the best. Gale, can you get away from that guy? You can indeed. Okay, perfect. This is why I brought the air elemental, because they can do lightning damage, and these guys do not like lightning. So I'm gonna do multi-attack on this guy. Okay, we're all right. Can you now please teleport out of the way? I might actually have him out here so we can tackle that other one when he comes out. I'm going to pop him there, also to draw attention away from us. Perfect.
Allow me to demonstrate.
Okay, I didn't mean to end turn. Will. So Will, I don't think has any lightning damage, but he does have a few fun things. Maybe we should just go ahead and use his Divine Smite, level 3 Divine Smite, why not? Oldie but a goodie. It looks like we can go in again with a second attack, but we can't actually, can we? Is it his turn? I think it is. Again? Not the best, but it's not the worst. Oh my god, we can do a third attack. Keep doing it. Okay, that's fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and... I don't really want to be in front of him. I can move though. I'm not. He's not an opportunity attacking me. I don't know if he can actually come in this room or not. It might be a little bit too low for him. Fingers crossed. But what I can do is get a... that's not going to help us. Divine Favor. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave his extra attack. It does mean that I've also got Cordia, and I've got Astarion. Cordia can also do this very heavy-handed lightning bolt. So let's go ahead and do that now. I don't want to get the lightning elemental in the background there, so I'm just going to be careful about my aim. It's good when I can get both with one, but he's got 60 hit points remaining. Okay, quicken spell. I'm going to Witch Bolt, level 3. I don't want to use up my best spells right now because I feel like he's on his last legs. Okay, so when you attack the Steel Watch, I think this is the first time we've attacked Steel Watch, so learning lesson. When you attack them and they get low on hit points, so you can see he's got 36 out of 206 hit points. So when they're getting really low, they do this detonation impending. They like self-destruct and explode. So basically what you need to do with your turns at that point is get out of their radius so that they don't... They will explode on their next turn. And you don't want to be in that radius. So anyone who's in that radius is going to get exploded. So what you need to do is make sure you can get everybody out, like, before it explodes. So there we go. We're done. We should be good. So if we just let him take his turn, he'll self-destruct. Let me just show you what that looks like actually on his info panel. Detonation impending. The Steel Watcher is preparing to self-detonate. So, a really good way of, if you attack them, if you're attacking kind of like a group of Flaming Fist or something at the same time, or multiple Steel Watchers, you can do that radius damage if you're clever. Okay, end turn. End turn, end turn, end turn. One down. Yes, come closer. This is what I want. I love that about you. Oh, he can come in though. He can absolutely come in. The good thing is he used dash to get to us, and so he doesn't have an action. Because if they hit you with these big swords, or some of them have crossbows, they do a lot of damage. They are quite difficult to fight, but I was prepared. So we're going to go in with another lightning bolt. I want to make sure I don't get my friends though. So I'm going to move forward. Lightning bolt this guy. Beautiful. And then I'm going to do a sneaky misty step out of here. Where can I get to? I'm going to go over here, I think. Next to... I don't want to run past him though. I'm going to go there. Again, we don't want him to be able to hit multiple of us, so I'm going to kind of run away a little bit. Perfect. He is my glass cannon, Gale, so... again, this guy can just kind of teleport over here like this. It does mean he might get caught in the blast radius, but it's okay. I can resummon him if I need to. Multi-attack. Again, he's doing lightning damage. These guys do not like lightning damage. They're vulnerable to it, which is why I'm doing lightning damage on them. It looks like, yeah, I'm going to get an opportunity attack if I move, so I'm just going to leave him there. Sorry, little guy.
Can't even catch my breath.
Claudia can also do lightning damage, so I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to do as many attacks as I can at as high level as I can, but trying not to get my air elemental. 1. Okay, not bad. I can go in again with my quicken spell because I'm a sorcerer. I'm going to do level 4. Save again. Okay, 98 hit points. I can't move. I will get an attack of opportunity. That's okay. So, I think we just need to keep going in with our smite spells. The problem is he's going to get an opportunity attack on us, isn't he, if he starts to explode. Like, maybe I want to do something from a distance. He's got 98 hit points. Maybe a Scorching Ray could do the job. Okay, again, I just want to stay out of his blast radius. He's got 76 hit points remaining. I'm going to use Quick Spell Finger, which is similar to what I just did with my sorcery points, to do a Eldritch Blast on him. 3 Eldritch Blasts on him. Reroll with advantage. There we go, he is self-destructing. So, the problem is, Cordia and Will are in his blast radius. What I can try to do, I haven't got push, I haven't got any spell slots left. There's not a huge amount that I can do here. So Astarion and Cordia are probably going to have to take the hit. Things that you can do, again, you can dimension door other characters out if you've got people who have that available. You can do sometimes things with like a grapple type action to get them out. Unfortunately, I think we're stuck. The only thing I might be able to do is have the mage hand shove them. Now this is going to do probably fire damage. Do Astarion or Cordia have resistance? Yeah, Astarion for some reason has resistance to fire damage. So he's going to take less of a hit if he stays in. So I'm going to try and move Cordia with a shove. It's not looking like I can do it. It might have to be Astarion then. Because I can't actually shove Cordia out. Astarion's out, but he's not out far enough. The mage hand is going to have to probably... No, the mage hand can get out. I tried!
Too much to bear.
So you can see, Cordia... Astarion's not too bad with his fire resistance. Cordia took the full force of that. She has 7 hit points remaining out of 62. So she took a bad hit there. Fortunately, these walls must be reinforced because nobody heard anything. We're literally on the other side of that door. There's like the basement door. Mage hand is gone. Okay. He did his duty well for us though. I'm going to short rest. And short rest again. I don't think we need to do much more fighting, so I think we're good. That was dramatic. I can definitely hear the print works So I know we're in the right place. Let's see if there's anything left to take a look at down here. I feel like a few things did get blown up. There's a pouch. Nothing in it though. I think sometimes there's like letters and things, but I think they got absolutely annihilated, unfortunately. So I might just put it up on screen if I have the time to go back and get that. We have got enriched infernal iron. This dented piece of black metal has a red shine to it. No matter the lighting, faint screams echo through your mind whenever you touch it. So there is a hope that this might, if we can find Damon again, or find maybe somebody at the Steel Watch Foundry, that this enriched infernal iron might be better for fixing up Karlach's heart. Maybe there's some hope that we can save her. So we definitely want to pick that up. Where's the other one gone? There's nothing else in here, is there, that I've missed? Empty pouch. No. There's some like canvases and things like that. Pursuit protocol. That's because the Steel Watch were chasing them. But now we don't have to worry. Normal infernal iron. Fine. We'll grab it. So yeah, we can look around kind of at our own pace now that we've taken care of the security.
Well.
So you can sneak through here. Unfortunately, that went a bit wrong for me. Again, normally I just take normally I just take Gale down here because Gale has the lightning stuff. So I'm like, at least he can defend himself. Or someone like Cordia, where she has like the 2 lightning attacks with the sorcery points. So yeah, lightning is going to be your friend, especially if you can like summon something like the air elementals as well. If you've got scrolls or the ability to do that, like lightning damage is what you want. Normally I take 1 person down there and I can normally handle it, but because I have 4 people I got caught, but that's okay. I was prepared. Let's see what is down here. Let's investigate. So we've got an Archduke's Leadership Decorum. Let's have a quick scout of what this is. A pamphlet by Gortash for Archduke voluntary campaign. As Archduke, Gortash's top priority will be decorum, to ensure that administration and law enforcement at all times are treated with respect for their positions and duties. No policy can be more important, so obey the law basically. And what is the law? But whatever Gortash says it is. So my tummy's rumbling. It's that time. That means I have to wrap up this episode soon. You know the rules. Also, public works. As Archduke, Lord Gortash's top priority will be public works. 2 different things there. To ensure that the city's streets, sewers, docks, and most importantly its walls and gates are properly maintained. No policy can be more important. So this tells me that he's telling different people different things. He's telling people what they want to hear. That's his most important priority. Okay. The Dukes of Baldur's Gate. Wealth speaks with a loud voice in a city founded and made prosperous by trade. Baldur's Gate has always been governed by its parliament of peers, consisting of the heads of the richest patriarch families with executive rulership by the Council of 4. I think we've read this before, actually. I think we read this when we first got to Rivington, when we went inside the guy who was putting explosives in toys in his house. So if you want to hear me read it out, go and watch that video, but I don't want to read it twice. If you want to pause and read it yourselves, you can do. Baldur's Mouth Gazette. Do your bit, how to fight the absolute threat at home. We can smell it from up here, up the city's residents on Grey Harbour pollution. I would love to hear more about like the design behind this, like what the writers were doing when they wrote this. I wonder if they actually did research and like looked at kind of like what was being said during like wartime and things, because this sounds very much like wartime thinking to me. Chef Revere gives the kitchen pest control advice. Again, we need to go and check him out. We'll probably do that in the next episode. You've got friends in the guild. So again, the guild is the underbelly, the criminal underbelly. How come the guild never carved up the lower city like a pumpkin, slicing it into segments for kingpins to rule from the shadows? To which I can shrug and say, delegation, mate, how else are they supposed to get anything done? So you can read that if you want to. I actually might take that for when we actually go and visit the guild, which we will do at some point. The leadership of the Zentarum, again, the Zentarum are like the traders. We've met them quite a few times already. You can have a read of that if you want to. Again, different criminal networks within the city itself. One's more merchants, one's more ruling the city streets. Missives of Candlekeep. I'll open it, you can read it if you want to, but I don't think we need to. I think we've read that before. No cause for alarm in all capital letters. I think we've read that before as well. Like, that's kind of like old news. The Wonders of Phandalin. You can have a read of that if you want to. I don't know if it's relevant right now. Eyewitness account. I think this is about Elturel. Again, you can have a read of that if you want to. I feel like we've come across that before. Okay. What else? Let's keep doing our detective work down here. So like I say, if you time it right and you're being sneaky, that guard walks back into here and you can actually sneak all the way into this room if you get the timing right. Again, use turn-based mode. It's probably a good idea. I don't know if I did that. Maybe that was my mistake. Maybe that's why we got caught. And then once you're in this room, you can actually break through this wall here, this barricade, and get into the next room along. So you don't have to go back out. Another good way of like sneaking past them. Is there anything of interest in here though? Grease bottle. We've got a lot of grease. We don't really need that. Oh, a gilded chest. A starring, if you don't mind.
Let's crack it open.
Give me guidance. Nice. Bloomridge sales, Brampton sales, Eastway. So these are the sales. This is the money from selling the newspapers. Collection records. A note is scrawled on the bottom of an otherwise mundane sales record. Etbard, mate. I don't know what you're lacing those papers with, but they're selling like silk root at a druid grove. Bloody good stuff. I mean, don't mind if I do. Better in our pockets than the pockets of, you know, oh, not everybody's selling too well. Different amounts from different areas. Apparently, Bloomridge is the place to sell. So yeah, like, I don't know, better in our pockets than the corrupt newspaper, I would say. Let's keep going. So I'm going to go through this wall just because it's kind of fun to do so. Will, could you do the honors, please? Normally,
2 steps at a time.
sorry, normally Eldritch Blast is good for getting through these. Like I say, you can sneak through here into the next room once you're in. What do we have in
Never a dull
here?
moment. Time to press ahead.
We have some nice bottles that we can't actually open. A lockpick kit, handy. Anything around here? What's this? Broadsheet.
Let's see.
You examine what appears to be a test print of tomorrow's broadsheet. Numerous corrections are marked in red ink. You notice one of these corrections scrawled in the margins. Whoever's tampering with the printer, stop it. You're wasting my time. The content of the broadsheet is troubling. You feature heavily in the central article, lambasted as a danger to the city.
That's not good. Absolutist infiltrators threaten safety. That's funny actually, because again, like going back to early modern literature, if you actually read it, sometimes the S's do look like F's. Of Gorlash, seditious strangers seek to steal and plunder, cleansed of the shadow curse or carriers. Clean up these bloody mistakes and then get on the press immediately. Get this on the press immediately. So, cleansed of the shadow curse or carriers. So they're trying to say that we're carrying the shadow curse. Rude. We stop the shadow curse. In this wicker basket, we can actually find a good piece about us. It says, make big money by trading with adventurers. This article's shining commendation of your deeds and dalliances would do wonders for your reputation if put to print. So hopefully we can find the printer and replace the horrible article with this good article. We will take it.
The block has a broadsheet article engraved upon it. It speaks positively of you.
Okay, so like I say, you can then sneak out here, and the second what they call Steel Watch will be patrolling up and down here. And again, if you time it right, you can sneak across and get in this room here. Don't need to worry about it. We've already dealt with that problem. So this is from Needle, the horrible guy, the boss. She'll try and do a Scottish accent. Sausages? It's sausage. Sorry, I used to work with a Scottish lady, and to get her accent, because it was very, very friendly. It was done in a really nice way. But we would try and mimic her saying sausage to get her accent. So I walk around, and it's going to be bad. I'm sorry if any of you are Scottish. I don't mean to offend you. Laugh at me, okay? I'm the problem. Sausage. So I walk around the newsroom floor, and what do I see? It's bad. Half of you are still working on your usual old columns about syllable... I cannot do accents. About syllable recipes and road repairs. Knock it off. I made it perfectly clear in this morning's briefing that we're going all out to blight the reputations of that phony band of adventurers now stinking up the city. Throw all your usual columns in the rubbish bin and get to work on the hit pieces now. Needle. So yeah, so he's probably had instructions from Gortash, I imagine, to be really nasty about us, which is rude, because Gortash, we were working with you. Well, we weren't, but we gave you the impression that we were. Maybe he knows us too well. Well, maybe this is a sign that he was going to backstab us all along. I mean, when we did that mind control thingy, when we read him, it seemed like he was being legit, like he really would share power with us, but still. And that's Duke's leadership, protection. So this is another one. His top priority will be protection for the physical defense of Baldur's Gate and its citizens. And then here we have verification. Priority will be verification to ensure that all those receiving the benefits of citizenship in Baldur's Gate are actually entitled to them. That sounds very familiar as well. Like, you know, the broadsheets, like the tabloid press are always like, oh no, benefit cheats, and like, you know, stuff like this, where actually if you look at where the money's being spent, like they would earn, like they would get so much more money, like doing things that don't benefit the newspaper than it would actually cost money to do like a full investigation of like benefit fraud, which actually cost the taxpayer more money than they're losing through people like claiming false benefits, because most people are not, like, benefits are so hard to claim in the UK, you really have to jump through hoops. And then there's people who are like long-term disabled, there's people with like, you know, conditions or disabilities that mean that they're never going to get better and they're never going to go to work, and yet every few years they have to go to the place and prove that they're still disabled, as though they were going to magically get better from whatever condition it was that they were being affected by. And so there's all these, like, there's a lot of problems with the benefit system in the UK, and benefit cheats are not one of the biggest problems. Like, actually, there's more people who don't claim benefits that they're entitled to than there are people cheating the system. So again, if they investigated it, it would probably cost them more, because they then have to pay all these people who are not getting what they're entitled to. So yeah, that's another favourite of the nasty tabloid press, who want you to punch down instead of actually asking questions about the people who have power and where your taxes are actually being spent, and who's, you know, not putting their fair share in. So regarding portrait production, an unsent letter from Edvard Needle addressed to Lord Enver Gortash. So here we have direct correspondence, and again Gortash gave them the printing machine. So if we needed evidence that they were friendly and that there might be some bias, we found it. Far be it, my lord, to question a decree from you, but I worry you haven't the full picture in mind. If I were to stop all production of the Baldur's Mouth Gazette for even a 10-day, our reach and audience impact would take a debilitating blow. Yes, I understand the portrait you've ordered we print is a Fevras original, Oscar Fevras. That's the, if you don't remember Oscar Fevras, ages ago, back in Act 1, when we went to the Zentrum base, and they had like they had basically a portrait painter artist who they were keeping prisoner, and we kind of like set him free, and he was like, come and see me in Baldur's Gate. That's who they're talking about. Yes, I understand what it'll do for your image before the council next meets in discussions to discuss succession plans, but please take a moment to consider what you're asking of me. Yours faithfully. So he's basically saying, if I stop producing the newspaper to print your posters, it won't, our reach won't be as good when you want me to do your propaganda, is what he's saying. Ugh. And then we find like all these portraits, heroic portrait of Gortash.
Lord Enver Gortash.
The people's
man. The gate's protector.
Ugh. Just, it's all propaganda. Ooh, well, I'll take your wine though. I'll help him drink his wine. I think there's something here as well. No. Here? No. Hang on. Silver ingot. I'll take that.
In my pack.
A public danger. Oh, there's another one here. Let's get it. So this one says, a public danger. The article's weaselly words weave a terrible tale about you, potentially reputation shattering if put to print. Can I read it? No. Okay, I'm gonna have to make sure we don't use that one though. Like, we don't want to accidentally make our reputation worse. That'd be funny, wouldn't it, if I did it wrong? Official print job. What does this one say? Ugh. You are about to find out why we've got you that fancy enchanted hang on, who's this from? An aide to the Archduke. You are about to find out why we got you that fancy enchanted automatic printing press. This letter constitutes a mandatory printing order for 5 bundles of the official Gortash Archducal coronation portrait poster. This order is to be delivered as immediately as possible. Keep that press running all night and we'll make sure your neighbours don't complain. And watch your quality control. We don't want Lord Gortash's face smeared or pumpkin coloured. All that. Pumpkin coloured, you say? Imagine someone looking a little bit orange. Wouldn't that be something to make fun of? Ulva, aide to the Archduke, designate. Can I like pick this up and use it as toilet paper? I'm sure we can like throw this somewhere. That is Shakespeare. That is not Gortash. Another silver ingot, which I'm gonna steal. A bottle, anything else in here worth stealing before I leave? I don't think so. Okay, let's head into, God, there's so much to look at.
That might be worth a look.
What might be worth a look? What have you seen? Verification. Have I looked at all these? I don't know if I looked at these or not. There's a lot though. There's a lot to look at. Corsairs of Luskan. Again, maybe I'll just open it and you can read it if you want to. The Folly and the Fall. Again, I think that's about Elturel possibly. I don't know. I've not read it. But again, I want to like show you everything there is to see. I don't want to miss anything. So I'm just going to like open stuff so that you can read it yourselves. More about the Zentarum. But you can just skip forward if you don't want to see this little bit. Disorders of the Moon. I think we've read this one before. And to the good godly folk of Faerun. Again, it's kind of like that title immediately is like a lot of people want to be seen as good and godly. So it's kind of like inviting you in or saying like, this is what you should be thinking. This is for you because you're good and godly. So it's manipulation technique. Because what you're going to say, because if you say that's not for me, you're saying, well, I'm not good and godly then, right? It's kind of like, I don't know. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm kind of saying with that. I don't know if I explain myself very well. Okay, but if we go in here, here is the magnificent printing press. I love a good printing press. We've got Gondian. Oh, it's a Gondian printing press. So the Gondian made the steel watch. So again, that just shows Gortash and his access to like top of the range, kind of groundbreaking equipment. Gondian Auto Printer User Manual. Using your auto printer is a two-step process. Step 1, load your headline article. We need to do that. Printing is as easy as opening a hat and placing your desired article in the machine. Once the auto printer is loaded, it will animate and begin pumping out copies until either the ink reservoir or paper hopper is empty. Step 2, endless profit. Now your exceptional journalism will be ready for delivery. I mean, pathetic lies, manipulative bullshit, I would say, for your vast readership. You need it with the amount of broadsheets this thing will print. So again, that is just showing the reach of money, because if you do not have access to equipment like this, right, top of the range printing presses, if you don't have the money to be able to access things like this, you are not going to be able to reach as many people. So those that have the money and the resources are able to reach a wider audience with their propaganda. So it just means the powerful stay powerful, and those who don't have access to things like this don't have that kind of leverage. You know, their voices are not heard. So it creates this one-sided view in society, because a lot of the time opinions are drip-fed. If you hear something again and again and again and again, benefit cheese, benefit cheese, benefit cheese, you start to think that's a bigger issue than it might actually be, because you've been drip-fed this propaganda. For adventurers, our best hope for the city, this article's shining commendation of your deeds and dalliances would do wonders for your reputation if put to print. So that is in this little bin here if you need a second one. So there's 2 good ones and 1 bad one currently. So again, we've got a lot of stuff here. It's too much. I might come down and have a look at this myself off camera in between episodes, and if I find anything interesting, I'll come back and show you. But I want to keep the pace going. So, printing press. I love this, by the way. Are you ready?
You approach the printer, noting its ink splots and intricate cogs. Before you can get closer, however, it begins to speak.
Oi! Gormless! Over here! Thought I recognised you. Dolly was right. You aren't much of a looker.
Oh, you know Dolly? So Dolly was the little fairy that we got out of the moon lantern. We set her free. She was kind of being like poked and prodded to force her to make a light to keep us safe from the shadow curse, and we freed her, and she was really, you know, she was gobby, but she did bless us with Seluna's blessing, I think, or the pixie blessing, which kept us safe from the shadow curse. So she was really a big help. She's our friend. Another fae who needs freeing. She would say, "How do you know Dolly?"
We both love cheeky words. She does all the shouting, I do the writing. This is my paintbrush. I make sure everything that's in those big, ugly article blocks becomes fine printed artistry. I'm a master pensman, I am. Dolly can't stop talking about you. Hero this, hero that, hero here, hero there. Hello, hero. You know, there's some absolute filth about you in tomorrow's edition. Seeing as you were kind enough to free Dolly, how's about I do you a favour? Why don't we change the headline? We can load up something a bit less damaging for your reputation.
Well, that sounds wonderful. I don't want to meddle with the paper. That's for people who haven't been paying attention. Oh, that sounds good to me.
Well, first, I've got to release the old nasty top story. Oop, there. Now, you've got to find a new article to replace it.
Oh, well, I actually have some. I have an article. Let's get started.
How delightful.
Okay, so I'm going to use... I need to make sure I don't do the bad one. I think I like this one, so you can do the one that's like, give them money, but I don't want to take people's money. So, well, could you wouldn't. I do sometimes use that one depending on who I'm playing with. Cordia would use this very positive, hopeful one because that's her cleric, that's who she's aligned with, her goddess. This article's shining commendation of your deeds and dalliances would do wonders for your reputation if put to print. So let's put it to print then. Let's go.
The editor will be in for a surprise tomorrow.
Amazing. I don't know where the one is that he spat out. I would have liked to have picked that up and got rid of it, but I don't see where it went.
Paper's printing right now, pal. Should be on the streets tomorrow.
Thank you. If I see Dolly again, like, I'll tell her that you were really helpful.
That's so cute, because Dolly, she was quite rude to us, as he says, like, they both like rude words, but it doesn't mean that she was antagonistic towards us. Like, she meant well. She's just got a dirty mouth, basically, and she's been singing our praises, which is so cute. You know, I think it's such a lovely character. Okay, and then I was so excited. Honestly, when the first time I clicked on this and I realised it was Faye and they knew Dolly, I lost my mind. A couple of things that we'll look at because they're laid out, so they're trying to draw our attention. Notice of termination. Dear Ms. Foes, while the mouth likes to nurture an atmosphere of open and honest debate, so this is why I wouldn't be employed there. While the mouth likes to nurture an atmosphere of honest and open debate within our newsrooms, we draw the line at conspiracy, intimidation, and libellous behaviour. So basically what's happening is this person is trying to report the truth of like all the bad things that are happening in Baldur's Gate, and they're like, shh, nobody needs to know. Let's push it under the rug. You have become or are fostering, so they're basically saying she's toxic for speaking the truth. You have become and are fostering a toxic, unjournalistic presence in the workplace. And while it brings me no joy, you've left us no choice. I do not accept your resignation. You are fired without pay, effectively, immediately. So she was trying to resign and they're like, no, you're fired, which again is like very bad workplace practices. Any further harassment of myself, our staff, or any of our generous benefactors will force my hand in pursuing criminal action. All the best. Yeah, I'm sure. Edvard Needle, Editor-in-Chief, Baldur's Mouth Gazette. I want to take that and I want to see if we can find this Miss Bowles. I don't think I've ever found her before, but just in case, I think it might be interesting to, you know, maybe get another journalist on our side. What's this? An open letter of oppression and peacocks. We've read that already. Here's one that's out. Note to self. So this is Edvard talking to himself. My dearest Edvard, our new gift from the venerable Lord Gortash has already been outstripped any production records the manual printers set. They're clever little bastards, those Gondians. Shame their foundry is such an eyesore. No, we're fully on board with the Gondians and their fantastic steel watch, and that's the new line. In fact, the foundry could be argued to even accent Grey Harbour. I think I feel a travel feature coming on. All my love, Edvard. So basically he's saying, if my rich friend who gave me this really cool piece of equipment says that the Gondians are good and the steel watch is good, then that's what we're going to say in the newspaper, because I benefit from saying that, right? Not because it's the truth. I being Edvard in this case. And he's like saying, like, clearly a lot of the patriarchs are like, oh, the steel watch foundry is a bit of an eyesore. And he's like, no, it's not. It's actually a beacon of the industrial age and something we should be celebrating. So he's basically, again, telling people what to think. So there we go. Anything else that's out that might be warrant a quick peek? It's not funny. I don't care who keeps messing with the printer and adding mistakes to our editions. I'll dock all of your pay if it doesn't cease immediately. This is exactly what I was saying in the other episode, where I was saying a tyrannical leader, a bad leader, people are going to stab them in the back. So it's kind of like, what's it called, where it's like malicious compliance, is that what they call it, where it's kind of like you do the job and you do what you're told to do, but you do like tiny little irritating things to kind of disrupt the status quo and like what is happening. So it's kind of like malicious compliance, that's what it's called, right? And so or quiet quitting as well, big fan of those two things. It's like if you have to work somewhere but you don't agree with it, maybe don't do your job well. Maybe do lots of little irritating things in the office. You know what we do in the shadows. you know, the energy vampire. Be an energy vampire. Bring the mood down. Make people not hyped, you know? So yeah, like, I think that's really fun. The idea of like someone's intentionally sabotaging and adding mistakes is really fun. But this is what I was saying. He's saying, I'll dock all of your pay, and he's firing people without due cause, and you know, he's basically been a really tyrannical editor, like a tyrannical boss. There's no loyalty there. The people are not going to do you any favors if you're not doing them favors. A good boss always takes care of his workers first, and that's how you're going to get high productivity. So low productivity is a sign of a tyrannical boss, I think. Gondian Research Report is somebody who doesn't know how to correctly motivate people, so they do it through sticks rather than carrots. Here you pass your eye over a Gondian report concerning the Shadow Curse. Landmarks are sketched quite expertly, with special attention paid to areas where the curse hangs thickest. Of interest, the report ends with a recommendation for somebody called the High Artificer. The recommendation... Oh God, there's a lot of reading in this episode. It is a geography unsalvageable High Artificer. The curse's ambiguity makes it inscrutable as well as deadly. It is the shared belief amongst our party that this area be designated as imperative to avoid on Gondian maps, and for all further expeditions to be summarily halted, discontinued, and not reconsidered hereafter. So it could be partially because Gondian Research Project. It could be partially because the Shadow Curse is legitimately dangerous, but also because they may be trying to disguise the fact that the army was gathering there. They didn't want people discovering the truth about what was going on. Another Baldur's Gate thing here to read. Sudden earthquake shaking our homes, increasing missing persons, alarms families, elf song tagging kicks off new competition during the laugh right now. We did without much success. Too much haddock make fish cakes. Old garlic, that's giving let them eat cake, isn't it? Old Garlow's place occupied by vandals. Now that is interesting. Old Garlow's place. Maybe we'll check that out in the next video. Yeah, that's it. We're pretty much done here. So we can head out. I would love to maybe have... I'm a bit turned about. Hang on, where am I? Where am I? Wait. Here we go. This is the exit. I would love to have Astarion maybe poke around a little bit, see if there's anything that we can find. I feel like there was keys that I was supposed to pick up that I missed. Oh well, I have a lockpick connoisseur on my hands, so I'm sure it's going to be fine. I'm going to have everybody hide, and I'm going to send Astarion out on his own, I think. So let me move Astarion forward. But what I'm going to do before I have him leave is have Gale. Luckily, he's got a level 4 spell left, which means that he can actually do greater invisibility on Astarion. And then I'm going to have Astarion sneak out. Okay, immediately into turn-based mode. So there's a lot of people in here. So what was that person who was like getting fired? Willowbrook, Stones, Whistleborn. None of these. Okay.
Gently.
All right, well. Do you know what I could do? I could definitely dash. Clear this space. I hope this doesn't break my greater invisibility. Lockpick. 22. I should have got you to give me guidance. We're good. Okay. That's open. I can go in there. Tempted to lockpick the guy. That might be on my jobs list. Okay. I'm going to stay in turn-based mode and try and keep... Actually, no. I'm going to exit turn-based mode. So we've got this here, which I'm going to try and get. Okay, some good stuff. Yeah, my invisibility's gone. The Folly and the Fall, Corsairs of Luskan, Nothing too interesting there. My good friend Etvar from Gortash, from G. My good friend Edvard, I've noticed the... How does he speak? I've noticed the quality of your work has been slipping of late, despite the new equipment I've provided. Tisk tisk, Edvard. I'm sending along material for urgent publication about some dangerous adventurers who have been allowed into the city. Attend to it. And let's not hear any more about my interfering with your editorial voice, because that voice now belongs to me. In the city's best interest, of course. Gortash. There you go. Evidence, if you needed it, that the Baldur's Mouth is compromised. We're going to take that and maybe get a few copies of that printed up, maybe show it to some important people. Reminder to fire Malek. Note to self, really fire Malek this time. He's so far beyond unhinged, it's not even funny anymore. I would be interested in talking to Malek if we can figure out who that is. So more lockpicking. Here we go. Dirty 20, we'll take it. And I've got an ink splattered key. It's probably a bit late now, but I'll take it anyway. Don't mind if I do. And then over here, there's another chest.
Certainly.
Yeah, I'm taking all this stuff. Like, this guy's a dick. Like, yeah, Astarian's robbing him. Shouldn't have been such an arse. Some more stuff here. To the good and godly fellow for an Archduke's leadership surveillance. So this is what he's really up to, right? Gortash's top priority will be surveillance to ensure the disloyal elements do not threaten Baldur's Gate and its people from within. No policy can be more important. So yeah, he doesn't actually believe in freedom of speech. So yeah, not a good guy, if you were wondering. I think I want to... Okay. He's still reading that. I really want to pickpocket him, but I can't get close to him without going into the eye line of somebody else. So what I think I'm going to do is have him take a potion of invis, and yeah, we'll see what we can do here. I'm going to go back into turn-based mode. So now I can creep up because I'm invisible. And yeah, let's try and pickpocket him.
It's got a pass.
So he's got some gold, a music box, some keys. Yeah, don't mind if I do.
A quick profit.
You've wandered into a forbidden area. You sense it might be time to leave.
My humble apologies. I shall remove myself immediately. Oh, we're out. We can do the same with everybody else as well. Fun fact, when I was playtesting to do this episode, when I was kind of like checking what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, Astarian got arrested. So, oops. Everybody else can probably just walk straight out of there, I would say.
Here we go.
We'll get caught, but they'll kick us out. It'll be fine.
You've wandered into a forbidden area. You sense it might be time to leave.
Oh, I just really wanted to look at that fabulous printing press. I've heard so much about it. Really, the technology is incredible. I could never understand how something so complicated worked. And she's just basically running her mouth like some idiot patriarch as she allows herself to be escorted out. So here we are, successfully. We have managed to edit the newspaper and prevent them from printing any more rubbish about us.
Edvard.
I actually want to go and
you
see if
Edvard?
that woman that was down the side was the woman that they were talking about firing. Like if she's kind of like a disgruntled person. No, they were called like Malik, weren't they? So it's not her. I am curious to try and figure out who that was. And who's this person with like the purple feather in the hair?
Not at all.
Who like knew about Stelmane's death? It's neither of them. Not this person. I want to see if I can find them.
I would love to have seen Gortash's coronation, but I would have to have skipped the after feast. I'm on a strict diet.
Right. Oh, it was a bit boring. Honestly, I saw the patriarchs yawning. Yes, it droned on. It was very uninspiring, but don't tell anyone. Strictly between you and I would hate for such gossip to get around.
Gortash, an archduke. Saw him once at a distance. Looked like too much of a pipsqueak to fill those boots.
Oh, he is. You are quite right. Most observant of you. Yeah, I like the idea of, like, is it called subterfuge, where you kind of like, you just go around and do counter gossip and counter propaganda, but like really subtly. Anyone with a purple feather in the flat hat over here? Nope. They did say on the terrace of the elf song, didn't they? Nobody here. I'm just wondering, because I know what Baldur's Gate is like the amount of depth they put in it. So a lot of the time, if it says something, that person will actually be there. Not here either. No, I don't see them, unfortunately. That's a bit of a shame. I would have liked to have been able to ask them about
Here's
it.
balls. Just lost the best job I ever had. Easy work in the upper city. But you don't care. And why should you? Sorry I said anything.
Oh no, I do care. So, your tale of hardship and woe is, honestly, something I'm hearing far too often.
On days like this, I miss the forest. I used to scamper amongst my woodland friends, if you can believe it. Here, not a squirrel in sight.
He looks a lot like the guy from Emerald Grove, but I don't think it's intended to be him. He's got a different name. The Gates Pub Crawl Guide. Again, I grew up in a pub. My dad was a member of, like, I think it's called Camera. It's like beer guys. Pub crawls are very familiar to me. Can't say that I love them. Can't say that it's a good thing to do, but yeah, very much British culture. An expert from the Baldur's Gate Pub Crawl Guide suggests that more than wandering was imbibed during its writing. Everyone goes on about the elf song and how iconic it is, how interesting its ghost is. Well, boo, I say. I wish to have music, drama, and I can't with a spirit jealous enough to stop any but its self-performing. Therefore, it is with stupendous delight that I suggest many other glorious boozing establishment. The Blushing Mermaid, we will head there at some point, maybe in the next episode, having said that, where you can watch Shimmer the Siren dazzle the crowd. I will partake. Or simply enjoy its swashbuckling patrons sing shanties and beat one another into oblivion. Or maybe you fancy a delightful venue with live music and the most sour-weight stuff you've ever met. The elf song he's talking about. If so, the singing lute is for you. We can't actually go there, unfortunately. Tucked away by the harbour, it's perfect for a romantic evening. No, actually, I lie. I think that's where we went to with Karlach in the last episode. If nothing else, Hank's delightful demeanour will make you grateful for your beloved. However, there remains another watering hole, one that only the most daring and most courageous of patrons go. Should you wish to test your mettle and rub shoulders with the city's secret underbelly, I can only tell you this. Enjoy the guild hall. We will go to all these places again in this playthrough. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I need to go and have something to eat, so let's start wrapping it up.
The service here is worse than ever. What do you have to do to get a drink around here?
Oh, well, the waitstaff do seem quite busy. Just call them over.
Oh, you haven't heard of any open positions for an event planner, have you? No, of course not. Just look at you. Why do I even bother?
So I understand you're having a rough time, but insulting people is not the way to go. I actually have some very interesting connections, like Councillor Florent, for example, but no, I don't think she's in need of such a sourpuss, bad-mannered event planner. She prefers people who know how to talk to people and not down their nose. Sorry. I'm getting too into my roleplay. Right, I think we're going to head back to camp for now, which is upstairs in the Elf Song Tavern. And maybe we'll have a quick run around, see if anyone has anything to say, and then maybe long rest. I might cut the episode short, so we'll see. Halsin.
Oakfather preserve you.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like anyone's got anything new to say, so no commentary on kind of what just happened, I guess. But I think I'm gonna see what happens if I long rest. So I'm gonna save game, because I haven't actually got this far. I don't know what is gonna happen if I long rest. I'm a little bit nervous, because bad things can happen when you get to Act 3. Every long rest is eventful. So let's just see if I can go at that, because I really want to get my spell slots back as well. So let's see if I can, in fact. Why can't I sleep on this one? Normally I sleep here. End the day. Okay, fine. Anyone want to talk? Halsin? Halsin, what are you doing? I haven't seen this before. Halsin, no! Halsin, what have you done? I hate this.
Oakfather, forgive me. Oh, I can explain. I swear. It's this place, this city. I can feel its corruption eating away at me. I should not be here. No one should be here. It has made a monster of me.
I guess we can fight him. Cody's quite an empathetic person. She would want to try and help him. I don't understand. What does the city have to do with this? I feel like she'd be casting Healing Word on Scratch as it happens. If Scratch is RIP, I am reloading the save and we're going to try and avoid this. Like, if I have to knock Halsin out every night, I will do.
It has everything to do with this place. The rot is all around us. Sylvanus has abandoned this place. It's nothing but stone, grime, smoke, pain. The trees choke here. The animals hang from butcher's hooks. Nature is dying in the gutter! There is only one god fit to be bowed to in this place.
Excuse me?
The last god who will ever be knelt before. Then all of this will tear itself apart. My body is trying to fight the corruption. But it's losing. And my mind will succumb soon after.
Is this like a dark urge thing, Halsin?
I will not allow it. I will not surrender control. Even in this place, there are still innocents.
Again, I have never seen this before. This is completely new to me. I was not expecting it. I did not test this far. I'm experiencing this at the same time as you guys, if you haven't also seen this before. Look at how shocked she is. Again, if Scratch is RIP, we're reloading and avoiding this entirely. I don't know. Again, it says it's talking about Orin. I don't know if this is an Orin situation. Has anyone got calm emotions? Shadowheart, do you have calm emotions by any chance? I don't love this. I am not about the drama. This is why Halsin is probably my least favourite person to romance. I'm like, dude, get a grip. Like, I don't know. I really don't like this over emotional reaction thing. Like, it's like I fall on my own sword. I'm like, shut the fuck up, mate. Like, listen, we've travelled together for so long. We've done so much together. We lifted the fucking shadow curse. Do you think this is a problem? It's just a city. Go back to the Emerald Grove. I've had enough of you. It's doing me nutting. So I don't know why we'd specifically blame Orin. I could try dexterity. Persuasion's my strongest thing, so I don't know why she would say it's Orin. I think I want to try and do... I like medicine because she is a cleric. It's going to be a tricky role. It might use up some of our inspiration, but I want to try and do this one. Think fast. There must be another explanation for this, some way to treat Halsin. It sounds like the one that she would be most likely to do. Again, I was like, has anyone got calm emotions? So that's what would be her natural response. Again, I wish that Shadowheart was next to me. Oh my god, I cannot do it, can I? 25? I'm going to have to take the Elixir of Human Versatility. I'm going to have to. And guidance. Guys, give me guidance. This is a really high roll. Total bonus 6 to 9. So the minimum we can get is like a 16. I'm going to rub the O for luck. And then guidance me. Oh no, we didn't do it. We're going to have to use inspiration. Oh, I should have gone with persuasion. Okay, guidance, guidance, guidance. Rub the overlook. Go. We did it. We've done it. Oh, I don't even think I needed to use the potion. I'm a bit sad that we had to use it there. I think we've got another one though, so we're good. Okay, we just did it. We just scraped it. I did have to use the potion. If I knew this was coming, I would have had Shadowheart give us advantage with enhanced ability, but I didn't know. So this is like first time playing the game. This is the kind of anxiety I had on every single roll the first time I played. Okay.
Do you think a poultice will unspill your friend's guts? A herbal tea will ungouge his eyes? Try if you like. The time to save him is dwindling fast.
Oh, it is! It's Orin! It's Orin! I've never had it this way. I've never had this scene.
Look at it. Crawling and sniffing and rooting around in the filth. Is it my netherstone you seek, little piggy? Hush, hush. Orin will take care of you. And your little pet.
Keep him. He can bore you with his prattling instead. we're not going to be like, Gortash warned me, try something like this. What have you done with... I'm sad that I'm not Dirge right now. What have you done with Halsin?
Nothing. No, not a thing. Still gasping and gagging on the foul airs of Baal's temple. I will not slice. His kind die too easily. The Murder Lord demands a better offering. A child of Baal. One whose veins pump with his poison. I know my slaughter kin is near. So does our father. He wants to see us duel, to taste. We shred each other on his unholy soil. But not yet. Not until my kin proves worthy. The tyrant Gortash must be slaughtered. His netherstone must be taken. Step in my domain while the tyrant still sucks air, and I will carve your failure into your pretty plaything's skull. Bring me his stone, and I will set the bait free. Only then can the duel begin. My bloodkin and I will create exquisite carnage. The victor will set the world to slaughter.
What did you say?
That is Baal's offer. He will not make another.
The backpack is Halsin's stuff. Halsin's gear. Okay. Where's Scratch? Is Scratch okay? This is the question. I've had Halsin taken before, but I had a different scene. So you can trigger scenes kind of as you explore Baldur's Gate. So I was purposefully avoiding that area to make this happen as late as possible. I knew she was going to take one of the companions. Scratch is fine. Everybody, Scratch is okay. He's full health. I think Shadowheart must have helped him out while we were talking. What a bitch, right? What an absolute bitch. Sometimes Orin leaves a note here, but I guess she doesn't if you get someone taken this way. I've had a lot of people taken from camp. I've had the Minthara scene. I've had the Lae'zel scene. Yeah. Another person who can be taken from camp is Yenna. And this was my biggest fear. Of all the people she could have took, I actually don't mind that she took Halsin, because I feel like he's not got a huge amount of gameplay in Act 3, so for me he's the best person she could have took, and he's big, he'll be fine. It's Halsin, right? We'll save him, he'll be okay. Yeah, like Halsin's probably one of the best people she could have took. Minthara would have been very topical for Dirge to have to go and rescue Minthara from Orin when she's already been victimized by her again. But I prefer Minthara to be with us, getting revenge, because she's a revenge paladin. So I prefer Dirge and Minthara going getting Orin. We're not playing Orin's games. We're not siding with her. She's a bad character. She smells like old, sweaty beef, right? She's a bit beefy. Really dislike her. So yeah, like I don't know. Lae'zel as well. I'm glad she didn't take Lae'zel, because Lae'zel has a little bit of gameplay that I think I wouldn't want to miss out on. One person she can take is Yenna. And this was my biggest fear, that she would have shapeshifted into Yenna. Because if she takes Yenna, she actually kills Grub. Which I cannot stand. Like, I could not let her do that. Absolutely not. And so I was really worried, because I know that she can kill Grub. I thought she might have actually killed Scratch. And I was like, I'm reloading. I'm not having that. So, yeah, I think this is actually, because she will take someone. Like, I think Halsin is like best case scenario, honestly, of all the people she could have took. And some of you who are eagle-eyed also noticed that I didn't have Halsin in the group, because she doesn't take someone if they're in your group. So with all these people being active, she couldn't have took any of these. So yeah, I kind of was I was kind of hoping that Halsin would be the one who was taken, because not because I don't like Halsin, I like all the companions. And I take back what I said about him being over emotional in that moment, because it was Orin doing a performance, it wasn't actually Halsin. But yeah, I guess she could have also took Jaheira. I don't know if Jaheira is one of the people she can take or not. But yeah, we'll get him back. Don't worry. He's going to be fine. He's going to be okay. We'll get him back in one piece. Not anytime soon though, because I feel like we have to work our way around to the Barless stuff, because it progresses the story. And there's a lot of stuff that I want to do in between kind of the end game and kind of like where we are now. So Halsin, I'm afraid, is going to have to be hanging out with Orin for a little while longer than I would personally like, but I have a strategy. He will be okay, and that's the main thing to hear. And Scratch is okay. So again, I was shocked about that. I never had that cutscene before. I'm scared of what's going to happen when I long rest again, so I'm going to leave it here for today. That is enough. And yeah, join me for the next episode. I've got, again, my eldest is off school now, so we're going on adventures, so I may miss a video here and there, so I'm so sorry if I do miss a week, but I'm just really excited to spend time with my eldest. But yeah, next time we do an episode, I think the plan is to go and see what's going on with you know, that abandoned house. Maybe go and have a visit to the Blushing Mermaid, and yeah, I will see you there. So take care of yourselves, take care of your friends, and yeah, I will see you again soon. Bye guys. I need to go and cry in a corner somewhere now. Bye.
I'm about to go off like a weapon, fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession, I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex, haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me
Is this part of the show? Praise the absolute.